Chapter 44. Zhao Yun was very grateful that this child came to inform her, so she was able to rush over in time. Zhu San was a little embarrassed to decline. Daoda's mother, my mother doesn't let me eat at other people's houses casually. Otherwise, she will scold me. Some families were more strict in educating their children. Family Zhu's parents were also honest people who didn't like to take advantage of others. They also had the same requirements for their own children. You're not casually doing this. You did me a big favor, so I have to thank you, right? It's okay, I'll talk to your mother later. How about it? I cooked meat at home today, it's very fragrant. When Zhao Yun mentioned meat, Zhu San swallowed her saliva. Her eyes revealed that she wanted to eat meat, but when she thought of her mother's words, she shook her head heavily. Daoda's mother, no, I can't eat it. Zhao Yun sighed. In fact, for Zhu San to be so obedient, she liked it more. This kind of child was much better than a child who threw their parents' words aside. Well, San I won't force you to stay and eat with us. How about this, I'll bring you some candy. You can bring it back to eat. Speaking of candy, Zhu San's eyes lit up. In the end, children couldn't resist the temptation of candy. Zhao Yun went into the house, grabbed a handful, and stuffed it into Zhu San's hands. At first, Zhu San was embarrassed to accept it, but Zhao Yun said with a smile, San don't be polite, just accept it. If you have time in the future, come and play with Daoda more often. Zhu San nodded shyly, Daoda's mother. Then I'll go back, good. Go. Seeing Zhu San run away, Zhao Yun also turned and went into the house. First, she let the children eat. 2 dishes were cooked, and the rice in the pot was also cooked. This time, she cooked white rice, which the children hadn't eaten for a long time. Ordinary families in the countryside couldn't afford to eat white rice, so they would add something to the brown rice. For example, sweet potatoes, corn, or wild vegetables. Not only could they use less rice, but they could also fill their stomachs. There wasn't much oil in the dishes of ancient times, so people had a big appetite and ate a lot. In ancient times, a family usually had more than a dozen or even dozens of people. Not to mention other things, old Zhao's family had more than 20 people. If they didn't rely on some grains to save some food, they probably wouldn't have enough food to eat. The rice cooked by Zhao Yun at noon, in the eyes of the children, was very fragrant and sweet without having to eat vegetables. Second sister, the rice smells so good, the meat smells so good too. Zhao Tianfu smelled the aroma and momentarily ignored the pain in his body. Hurry up and eat. You must be hungry. Zhao Yun said. When they were eating together, from time to time, he would put food into his younger brother's bowls. The 2 of them were too embarrassed to eat by themselves. Even if she urged them, they only took a few pieces. The rice was mixed with the red braised pork soup, meat, and wild vegetables. All of them ate with great satisfaction. After they finished eating, their mouths were still stained with oil. Second sister, this is the best food I've ever eaten since I was young. Zhao Tianfu exclaimed. Zhao Yun smiled, is it that exaggerated? Chapter 45. Zhao Tianfu was telling the truth. Compared with the cooking of old Zhao's family, the braised pork made by Zhao Yun was simply the most delicious dish in the world. Therefore, it was not an exaggeration to say that this was the most delicious dish he had eaten in so many years. Zhao Yun smiled. Tianfu, you're so good at talking. I've never seen you compliment your second sister like this before. That's because my second sister has changed. The second sister in the past is different from the second sister now, but I like the second sister now, especially the way you're scary. Xiao Yun chuckled a few times. She was amused by Zhao Tianfu's words. All right, let's stop talking now. Have a rest. I'll borrow something to wipe your wound, Xiao Yun said. Sure. Xiao Yun was seriously injured. Xiao Yun was afraid that Zhao Tianfu's wound would be infected and suppurated, so she wanted to use alcohol to clean Zhao Tianfu's wound. However, there was no medicinal alcohol in this era, so she could only use wine as a substitute. Xiao Yun didn't have any men in her family, so she didn't have any wine. Old Zhao's family did have some, but she didn't want to go to old Zhao's family to ask for it. She planned to ask Aunt Lu for some wine. She didn't need a lot, just half a cup would be enough. When she arrived at Aunt Lu's house, Aunt Lu's family had already eaten. Seeing Xiao Yun coming over, Aunt Lu greeted her warmly. Yun what can I do for you? Xiao Yun nodded. Aunt Lu, can I ask for some wine from you? Aunt Lu was struck dumb for a second, then smiled. A man came to your house. So you want to serve him? Looking at Aunt Lu's ambiguous eyes, Xiao Yun quickly shook her head. You must be kidding. How is it possible? There's no man in my house. Haha, it's not like that. Then I must be thinking too much. But Yun since you don't want to drink it, why do you want it? Xiao Yun explained the situation, and Auntie Lu readily gave her half a glass of wine. When Xiao Yun took the towel back, she had just rested and was about to wipe Zhao Tianfu's body when shouts and curses came from outside the house. Xiao Yun you little b****, get out here right now. You better give me an explanation for what happened today. Otherwise, you'll get it. If you don't come out, I'll go in myself. Xiao Yun frowned in disgust. She didn't need to think to know who it was. Sister. Zhao Tianfu looked at Xiao Yun worriedly. He had seen how unreasonable his second aunt could be. He was afraid that Xiao Yun would suffer in the hands of Li Chuiying. Don't worry about me. I'll go out and teach them a lesson. Xiao Yun said and walked out of the house. The other children followed her. Outside the house, Li Chuiying brought Zhao Tianyu with her, and Hu Chunhua followed behind them. It was obvious that these people were here to denounce him. Seeing Xiao Yun coming out, Li Chuiying continued to curse her. You little b****, you finally came out. Come here right now and tell me clearly. Why did you hit my Tianyu? Look at what you've done to my Tianyu. How can you be so cruel? Xiao Yun sneered. Looking at Li Chuiying's aggressive appearance, she wasn't scared at all. She was just a crazy woman in the countryside. Chapter 46. Do you think I don't have a conscience when I speak? You little b****, do you think you're in the right when you hit people? You're a scourge to old Zhao's family if we keep you around. You'd better scram as far as you can. Li Chuiying became more and more furious as she scolded. Zhao Tianyu was her precious son. She usually couldn't bear to touch him. But now, Xiao Yun had turned her precious son into this. Xiao Yun's cold voice interrupted, that's enough, second aunt. Your Tianyu didn't educate him well. It's only right that I help you educate him. Otherwise, he'll only embarrass old Zhao's family when he goes out. How can I not educate him well? Little b****, are you trying to twist words and force logic? Li Chuiying was furious. She rushed in front of Xiao Yun and wanted to slap Xiao Yun's face with her thick black claws. But she was stopped by Xiao Yun. Xiao Yun twisted Li Chuiying's hand back. Li Chuiying shouted and scolded, it hurts so much. Xiao Yun you little b****, let go of me. How can you treat your elders like this? Xiao Yun's eyes were cold. She had no intention of letting go. She said coldly, "Second aunt, you're being unreasonable. You came over and wanted to hit me. Do you think I won't fight back? Let you hit me for nothing. Don't take advantage of your seniority and disrespect your elders. Even if you're an elder, you have to be reasonable." "You," Li Chuiying cried and yelled at Hu Chunhua, "Mother, look. This little b** tch is hitting me. I'm going to be beaten to death. Mother, save me." Hu Chunhua was furious when she saw that. "Our family is in trouble. Why didn't he drown Zhao Yun in the lake in the past? It was fine before, but these days, the sky suddenly turned upside down." Seeing Zhao Yun deal with Li Chuiying, she didn't dare to step forward. She was afraid that she would also be tortured by Zhao Yun. She hadn't forgotten the lesson from last time. "Zhao Yun, hurry up and release your second aunt." Hu Chunhua shouted anxiously. "Release him?" "Sure. Then hurry up and get the hell out of my house. Just get as far away as possible from my house. You little girl, why are you so unreasonable? You beat Tianyu up like this. Is it wrong for your second aunt to ask you for an explanation? You're so disrespectful to your elders. When the time comes, I'll talk to Li Zheng and kick you and your son out of the village. Let's see if you can still be so arrogant in the future." Hu Chunhua was also angered by Zhao Yun's attitude. She thought about it and threatened her. The villagers were very strict about rules. There were also some rules in the village. For example, if Zhao Yun hit her elders, if Li Zheng pursued the matter, it was very likely that he would really kick her out of the village. Zhao Yun wasn't afraid of Hu Chunhua and Li Chuiying. However, before she earned a lot of money, she couldn't guarantee her and Daoda's livelihood. They had to stay in this rundown house. In any case, it was a place to stay. At least she and Daoda wouldn't have to wander the streets. Slap. Zhao Yun kicked Li Chuiying's butt hard and said, "Okay, didn't you want to be reasonable? Then let's be reasonable." Zhao Yun's eyes darkened. Facing Hu Chunhua, her aura was too intimidating. "Grandmother, then tell me, isn't this the right way to snatch other people's things?" Chapter 47. "Grandma, you're the one who said that. Since you also think that it's wrong, then I'll ask who was the unreasonable one today." Zhao Yun breathed a sigh of relief and continued, "Second aunt said that I hit Tianyu. There is such a thing. I hit his but a few times because he did something wrong. I asked him to apologize. Who told him to snatch Daoda's candy and push Daoda to the ground and break his skin? As for the other injuries on his body, it's because Tianfu couldn't bear to see him snatch things." The two children argued and fought. Tianfu's injuries aren't light either. How will second aunt explain this to my parents? As Zhao Yun first spoke, she waved at Zhao Tianfu. Zhao Tianfu walked over. "Grandma, as you can see, Tianfu's injuries are even more serious than Tianyu's." Hu Chunhua glanced at them and didn't know what to say for a moment. Zhao Tianyu was her grandson and Zhao Tianfu was also her grandson. Both of them were flesh and blood, so it wasn't good to be biased. Looking at Zhao Tianfu's injuries, they were indeed more serious than Zhao Tianyu's. Most importantly, if Zhao Yun's words were true, then this matter was her second son's fault. "Zhao Yun, what nonsense are you talking about? When did my Tianyu snatch things? Candy. Who doesn't know that your family is so poor that they can't even afford to eat? If you want to lie, you should at least come up with a decent reason." Li Chuiying jumped out and scolded from a safe distance. Hu Chunhua also reacted. Zhao Yun's family was so poor that they couldn't even afford to eat. How could they have candy for their children? "Tianyu, tell me, did you snatch Daoda's candy?" Li Chuiying dragged Zhao Tianyu out. Zhao Tianyu shook his head and said, "No, I didn't snatch their candy. The candy was mine. Zhao Tianfu snatched my candy. Zhao Yun even helped Zhao Tianfu beat me up." Li Chuiying was somewhat proud. "Did you hear that? Children don't know how to lie." Zhao Yun was speechless. Like mother, like son. Zhao Tianyu, this child, knew how to lie at such a young age. He didn't even blush and said it as if it was true. When he grew up, he would inevitably be the same. "Zhao Yun, you have to give me an explanation now, right?" Li Chuiying was a little impatient when he saw that Zhao Yun didn't say anything. "Second aunt, you said that Tianyu is a child and wouldn't lie. Then let me ask you, where did he get the candies? Could it be that you secretly hid your private money and did not hand it over to grandma, and then secretly bought candy for Tianyu?" Zhao Yun sneered and asked. This sentence was not only for Li Chuiying to hear, but also for Hu Chunhua to hear. Sure enough, Hu Chunhua immediately exploded when she heard this. "What? Second daughter-in-law, tell me honestly. Did you hide some money? You're really something. Do my words go in your left ear and out your right? I'm going to search your house when I get back and see what else you've hidden behind my back." Li Chuiying immediately cried, "Mother, don't listen to that little b*tch's nonsense. I didn't hide any money to buy candy for Tianyu. Even if you beat me to death, I wouldn't dare." Chapter 48. Mother, listen to me. I really didn't buy the candy. Tianyu made it up. Li Chuiying said with a bitter face. Compared to arguing with that little b*tch Zhao Yun, this matter was much more serious. In the end, she was guilty. If she was honest, she wouldn't be afraid of Hu Chunhua searching the house. In the cabinet at home, there were still 100 or 200 copper coins in her private savings. After Hu Chunhua searched the house, she would not only take away the money, but also scold her. It wouldn't be so easy for her to save money in the future. Zhao Yun sneered and said, "Second aunt, you said it yourself. If you don't have the money to buy the candy, where did Tianyu get the candy? He's just a child. Isn't he full of lies?" Li Chuiying glared at Zhao Yun angrily. Then she realized that this wretched girl had schemed against her. Good job, she would definitely remember this grudge. Zhao Yun turned and said to Hu Chunhua, "Grandmother, you heard it. You know what the truth is. So you better not make a scene here. Otherwise, I won't be polite." As Zhao Yun spoke, she picked up the broom in front of the door and chased them away. Hu Chunhua was still worried about whether Li Chuiying really hid the money, so she didn't care about this matter. When she saw Zhao Yun waving the broom over, she quickly ran away. Li Chuiying was a little unwilling. Her precious son was beaten up like this. Not only did she not get anything back, she also suffered. "Let's go, Tianyu." Li Chuiying also quickly pulled Zhao Tianyu and ran away. On the way, Li Chuiying couldn't help complaining and cursing Zhao Yun in front of Hu Chunhua. Hu Chunhua scolded her, "Don't you think you're embarrassing me? What are you shouting about?" Seeing that Li Chuiying and Hu Chunhua had left, the door became quiet again. Zhao Yun breathed a sigh of relief. She wanted to be a virtuous lady, but there were so many weirdos in the family that forced her to be a shrew. Anyway, she didn't care about her reputation. Once her reputation as a shrew spread far and wide, she would see who would dare to provoke her. "Second sister, you're amazing." "Mother, you're amazing." Seeing Zhao Yun's complete victory, the children were unusually excited. Originally, she was worried that Zhao Yun would be defeated by Li Chuiying. Unexpectedly, even Li Chuiying was no match for Zhao Yun. Of course, mother is great. Otherwise, how can I protect Daodu? Zhao Yun patted Daodu's head and smiled. The few of them entered the house together. Zhao Yun'er wiped the wounds on Zhao Tianfu's body. The wounds shouldn't be infected. However, this kind of injury needed to be taken care of properly. It seemed that she had to make some good things every day to nourish Zhao Tianfu's body and heal his wounds. It could also be considered as helping Daodu recover. Her current goal was to raise Daodu into a normal child. In the afternoon, Zhao Yun'er didn't have anything to do. She continued to dry the tea leaves that she had picked. She estimated that she could start frying the tea leaves tomorrow. She didn't know much about frying tea leaves. She had seen some basic steps on the internet before, but she had never personally practiced it. Now, she had to slowly explore it. Zhao Yun'er stood in the courtyard and saw a woman who was only a few years older than her walk over. She was carrying a basket with some things in it. The person who came was none other than Zhu San'er's mother, Mulan. Chapter 49. Mulan walked in front of Zhao Yun'er and handed over the basket in her hand. There were some vegetables in it. She said to Zhao Yun'er, these vegetables were picked from my vegetable garden. I'm giving them to you. Please don't dislike them. Today, when my third son went back, he said that you gave him a lot of candy. I don't have anything good to give you, so I can only pick some vegetables from the vegetable garden. Zhao Yun'er then understood what was going on. Sister-in-law Mulan, you're too polite. I gave the candy to my third son because he helped me. Now you're giving me vegetables. How can I? It's okay. How much can my third son help you? But candy is a good thing in the countryside. Most people can't afford it. It's expensive, right? Well, sister-in-law Mulan, then I won't be polite. I'll accept these vegetables. Zhao Yun'er was also not pretentious. The other party's kind intentions were sent over. They wanted her to accept it. She did not like to push and pull. Okay. Mulan smiled gently at Zhao Yun'er. Looking at the dimples on Mulan's face, they were very beautiful. Mulan also got married when she was in her teens. She was 6 or 7 years older than Zhao Yun'er, but she was only 25 or 26 years old. In the 21st century, she was a beautiful young girl in the prime of her youth. She was already the mother of 3 children. The oldest was 8 or 9 years old. Her third son was 5 or 6 years old. 2 women and 1 man. She would probably continue to have children in the future. The ideas of ancient people and modern people were very different. The more people in the family, the more prosperous it was. Basically, as long as they could give birth, they would give birth. In addition, there were no birth control methods or contraceptives. Sister-in-law Mulan, do you want to go in and rest for a while and chat? Zhao Yun'er asked. Mulan shook her head and said, No, Yun'er. I have to go back to work. There were many people at home and many things to do. She wouldn't be able to leave for long. If I don't go for too long, my mother-in-law will probably scold me again. As Mulan spoke, there was a hint of melancholy in her expression. Family Zhu hadn't separated yet. Mulan's husband was family Zhu's third son. She had 2 other sons and a younger brother-in-law. His brother-in-law's family Zhu was not very rich in the village because he spent a lot of money every year. Mulan's mother-in-law didn't treat her well either. People in the countryside usually favored their eldest son and youngest son. Mulan's husband was sandwiched in the middle and wasn't liked by Mrs. Zhu. Basically, all the hard work at home was thrown to Mulan. However, Mulan had a soft temper and didn't know how to resist. Over the years, she suffered a lot. Zhao Yun didn't force Mulan and said, Well, sister-in-law Mulan, you can go back. Come and play when you have time. Mulan smiled and said, Okay. Xiao Yun put the vegetables Mulan gave her in the kitchen. Mulan gave her spinach, peas, green peppers, and chives. She didn't have a vegetable field at home and didn't have these vegetables. For her, they were good things. Xiao Yun thought that she should also make a vegetable field. She couldn't rely on others to help her, and she couldn't always eat wild vegetables. She did as she said. Xiao Yun carried the vegetables and went to the yard. The place in front of the door was not big, but it was enough to make a small vegetable field. Chapter 50. Second sister is going to make some vegetable gardens. Now we need to loosen the soil, Xiao Yun replied. She also lived in the countryside when she was a child. She often did this kind of farm work, so it was convenient and familiar. In the past, when her grandparents planted vegetable gardens, she would watch from the side and was clear about the steps. Now it was her turn to do it. The thing she remembered also came in handy. Second sister, I'll help you. Zhao Tianan said. No need. You can rest and play. Second sister will do this myself. You don't know how to do it. Second sister, then tell me when you're tired. I don't know how to do it. You can teach me. I can do it. Xiao Yun nodded. Okay, second sister knows. N. Zhao Tianan still glanced at Xiao Yun with some worry. What could she do with such a thin body? But after a while, Zhao Tianan found that his worry was unnecessary. Xiao Yun was busy. Her hands and feet were neat, and she didn't feel tired at all. There were a lot of weeds on the ground in the yard, and the soil was relatively hard, so Xiao Yun first took a hoe to hoe the weeds on the ground. Then she took a shovel and began to loosen the soil. Fortunately, the place wasn't very big. It was only the size of a parking garage. The loosening of the soil was relatively fast, and it was done in more than an hour. Xiao Yun wiped the sweat on her forehead. She didn't feel tired when she was busy, but when she stopped, she felt a little tired. But after the soil was loosened, the work was not done. She still had to fertilize. Otherwise, such soil probably couldn't be used to grow vegetables. In addition, this garage-sized vegetable garden was best surrounded by a wooden fence. There were more chickens and ducks in the village. The chickens and ducks of the country people were in a free-range state. If a fence was not made, these chickens and ducks would peck the vegetables. While Xiao Yun was worried, a person came from a distance. It was Lu Lei. Brother Lei, why are you here? What's the matter? Xiao Yun asked. Nothing. I just came to see. He missed Xiao Yun. It was good to be able to see her. By the way, I went up the mountain today and had a good harvest. I got a lot of game. This wild rabbit, for you. It's the smallest one. Roast it for Daodu. As Lu Lei spoke, he took out a small rabbit with its hands and feet tied behind him. It was not very big, but it looked very cute. Xiao Yun's maiden heart suddenly overflowed. She wanted to reach out and hold the little rabbit in her arms and touch it, but reason prevailed over her impulse. Xiao Yun shook her head and said, No, Brother Lei Zi, you just gave me a pheasant yesterday, and now you gave me a wild rabbit. I can't accept it. It's okay, Yun keep it. It's such a small one. If you take it out to sell, people won't buy it. You can only eat it yourself. I eat a lot of these things, so I don't care for them. Brother Lei, this, Xiao Yun didn't know how to refuse for a moment. She thought about it and said, Okay, Brother Lei. I'll keep this rabbit for you first. You can sell it in town when it's fat, okay? It should be able to sell for a good price then. The corner of Lu Lei's mouth twitched. Let's do as you say. Okay. Xiao Yun took the little rabbit. She stroked the furry little guy and smiled brightly. Looking at the shallow dimples on Xiao Yun's cheeks, Lu Lei felt his heart beat faster. Chapter 51. Daodu will definitely be very happy to see it. Thank you, Brother Lei. But I have to make a small cage for it, or it will run away. Let me do it, Lu Lei said. In addition to hunting in the mountains, Lu Lei was also a good carpenter. Some of the furniture at home was made by himself. When other people in the village needed help, he would also help. Brother Lei, aren't you busy now? I'm not busy. I don't have a field. Other than hunting, what else can I be busy with? If you have any problems at home in the future, you can call me. I'll help you do it, Lu Lei said with a silly smile. Xiao Yun smiled and nodded. Okay, Brother Lei, I won't be polite with you. I don't know how to make a fence for my vegetable garden. Can you help me make a fence? Otherwise, when I plant vegetables, it will be pecked by chickens. Lu Lei then realized that the loose soil in front of Xiao Yun's house was used to plant vegetables. Although it was a little small, Xiao Yun only had Daodu with her, and they couldn't eat many vegetables. It was fine to plant less of each kind. Thus, he said, of course, I'll help you do it now. Brother Lei, thank you. You're welcome. Lu Lei laughed heartily, and his tall figure started to get busy. In fact, if she could do it herself, she wouldn't have troubled Lu Lei. In this village, there were too few people who could help her. Now that Lu Lei helped her, she looked back to see if there was anything she could help him with. Making a fence was not that simple. First, he had to get some branches and wooden sticks. Xiao Yun didn't have any in her house, so Lu Lei went to look for them himself. He also needed some wooden vines to tie these fences, so he had to look for them. Fortunately, it was spring now, so there were more of these things. After watching Lu Lei leave, Xiao Tianan, who was now next to Xiao Yun, sighed and said, Second sister, I think Brother Lei is really a good person. Yeah, he's pretty good. Xiao Yun was also very satisfied. He was tall, handsome, considerate, and warm. If this was in modern times, he would be very popular, and girls would like him. Second sister, I think you and Brother Lei are a good match. You two are good together. I can see that Brother Lei likes you a little. Zhao Tianan was very satisfied with Lu Lei. His second sister couldn't take care of a child for the rest of her life. She definitely had to find a man to accompany her. This way, there would be someone to take care of her, someone to love her, and give her happiness. Daodu could also have a father, and the villagers wouldn't call Daodu a fatherless bastard. You're just a kid. What do you know? Zhao Yun'er pretended to be angry and glared at Zhao Tianan. Second sister, I'm not a child anymore. Second sister knows about this matter. After you marry a wife, second sister will decide to find a father for Daodu. Zhao Tianan sighed. Okay, second sister. Not long after, Zhao Ping came looking for them. As soon as she arrived at Zhao Yun'er's place, she started to scold Zhao Tianan. Tianan, you've been staying at your second sister's place for a day. Don't you know how to go back? You only know how to help her work. Don't you need to do the work at home? Zhao Yun'er's tone was very aggressive, as if she was deliberately looking for trouble to scold him. Chapter 52. Why is there no work at home? There's a lot of work. We have to plant rapeseed these days, and we're all busy weeding. Later, we'll have to plant them together. Our hands are full, but you came to her. Zhao Ping said and couldn't help but roll her eyes. Looking at Zhao Yun'er, she was full of anger. Eldest sister, second sister has some things that she can't handle alone. It's only right for me to help. The family can't do without me. Zhao Tianan couldn't help retorting. He knew that his eldest sister and second sister didn't get along. If he came to help, his eldest sister would feel uncomfortable. Zhao Tianan, what are you talking about? Grandma is scolding you at home. Don't blame me for not coming over to remind you. Zhao Ping said angrily. Zhao Yun, who was standing to the side, couldn't listen anymore. She said to Zhao Tianan, it's okay, Tianan. You can go back. Second sister can handle it. There's nothing to be busy with. Zhao Tianan sighed and said, then second sister, I'll come again when I have the chance. Okay. By the way, when you're done, you can come to second sister's place for dinner tonight, Zhao Yun said. Zhao Ping, who was about to leave, heard this, and her eyes lit up. She thought that Zhao Yun probably had something good here. Zhao Ping, paused, turned around, and questioned Zhao Yun, did you buy something good at home? Zhao Yun, sneered, what does this have to do with eldest sister? When Zhao Ping, heard this, she was even more certain that Zhao Yun, definitely had something good here. Thinking about the taste of the chicken soup from before, Zhao Ping couldn't help but swallow her saliva. Of course it's related. If you have good things, quickly send some to father and mother. Father and mother have given you a lot of good things in the past. Tianan has been helping you for the past 2 days, so you should reward him. We won't be eating here tonight. Just bring it home for us. The smile on Zhao Yun's lips became colder. He didn't know where this Zhao Ping got such thick skin from, to actually have the nerve to say such words. It was obvious that he wanted to eat it, but he was using it as an excuse. Zhao Tianan said, sister, it's better not to take it back. If we take it back, we can't eat it alone, and there's no pot to cook it. We can only share it with the whole family, and we may not even be able to drink it. Zhao Ping was a little disappointed. That was the truth. Those people in the family were like wolves and tigers. Their ability to snatch food was better than anyone else's. If he brought it back, he probably wouldn't even be able to eat the dregs. However, he was really lonely. He pursed his lips and said, forget it then. Tianan, you secretly bring some home tonight, just like that day. Sister. Zhao Tianan was in a difficult position. Second sister hadn't said anything yet, and sister was already asking for it. Second sister's family didn't have it easy. If there were some good things, they didn't have to prepare them for the family. What's wrong? Can't I? Don't look at me. It's not just for me. Father and mother have to eat it too. Zhao Yun couldn't be bothered to argue with people like Zhao Ping. She said to Zhao Tianan, Tianan, it's okay. Second sister will bring some back for you tonight. This was for the sake of her parents. If it was just for Zhao Ping, she definitely wouldn't give it. Chapter 53. Not long after Zhao Tianan and Zhao Ping left, Lu Lei also came back. Lu Lei brought back a lot of branches and wooden vines and began to make fences for Zhao Yun's vegetable garden. Brother Lei, let me help you too. Lu Lei smiled gently. Yun, no need. I can do it alone. Brother Lei, do you dislike me for being clumsy and being a hindrance? Yun, what are you thinking? I'm just afraid that you're tired. Have a good rest. I'm a man. I can do these things well. Zhao Yun felt a warm current flowing through her heart. It was rare to see a good man like Lu Lei who cared for her so much. Zhao Yun stared at Lu Lei and was absent-minded. The original Zhao Yun should have been tempted by a good man like Lu Lei. She just thought too much and didn't dare to let herself be tempted. Lu Lei's infatuation suffered. There were so many people in the world who were infatuated, but there were very few who were really together. This was especially true in ancient times. Parents' orders and matchmakers' words didn't rely on two people to get together just because they liked each other. Lu Lei was a little embarrassed by Zhao Yun staring at him. His cheeks were slightly red, and his hands moved a little faster. He first inserted some branches into the soil, and then tied the branches with wooden vines. He worked like this for the whole afternoon. In the evening, the fence in the vegetable garden was finally finished. Zhao Yun looked at it and was very satisfied. The fence was not only strong, but also beautiful. When she went to the mountain later, she would bring some morning glory back and plant it. It would also be a beautiful scenery, right? This kind of thatched hut, fenced vegetable garden, and some small flowers were the peaceful life in the countryside that many people looked forward to. If it weren't for those strange and annoying things, Zhao Yun felt that living in the countryside like this for the rest of her life. It was also quite good. While Lu Lei was making the fence, Zhao Yun had already stewed the big bones they bought today. The bones and meat were soft and tender, and the soup was also emitting a strong fragrance. Zhao Yun felt that this pork rib soup was much more fragrant than the pork rib soup she bought in her previous life. He didn't know if it was because the pork in ancient times was different from the pork in modern times. The pork in ancient times was fed with grains, so it tasted different from the pork in modern times. Zhao Yun also cut a small bowl of chopped green onions, which was given to her by the boss when she bought the pork. By the time Lu Lei was done with his work, Zhao Tianfu had already brought Dao Du over to play. Beads of sweat covered the foreheads of the two children. She didn't know what he was playing. Yun, I've finished the fence for you. Lu Lei said with a smile. Brother Lei Zi, thank you, you've worked hard. Wipe your sweat. Zhao Yun handed him a piece of cloth. Lu Lei shyly took it, and after wiping his sweat, he returned it to Zhao Yun. Seeing that the sky had turned dark, and that Zhao Yun's family was about to eat, he said goodbye. Yun, if there's nothing else, I'll go back first. Brother Lei Zi, you've been busy for the whole afternoon. Stay for dinner today. Lu Lei hurriedly refused. No, Yun, Last time, people gossiped about us. This time, let's be more careful. I don't want others to talk about you. Zhao Yun felt touched. She had thought of what Lu Lei had considered, but she had an indescribable feeling that this man was so considerate of her. Chapter 54. Lu Lei didn't know how to refuse, nor did he want to refuse. When Zhao Yun saw that Lu Lei was in a daze, she said, Brother Lei Zi, it's so late. It's not convenient for you to go back and eat. When it's done, you probably won't be able to eat until it's dark. I'll eat here. It's fine. It just so happens that I made something delicious today. Lu Lei smiled shyly and nodded, indicating that he had agreed. Zhao Yun moved the table out. The table was originally missing a leg, but she patched it up herself. Now, it could be used normally. In addition to the leftover braised pork from lunch, there were also vegetables sent over by Mulan. Zhao Yun took the chives and a few pigeon eggs and stir-fried them together. There was also a plate of bone soup. There was a little less meat in it, but some of the bones could still be eaten. As soon as the dishes were brought out, a burst of fragrance immediately wafted out. Such a meal was considered very sumptuous in the countryside. Ordinary people could only eat this during the New Year. After Lu Lei saw it, a trace of surprise appeared in his eyes. He didn't know where Zhao Yun got the money to be able to buy meat back. Brother Lei Zi, come, eat quickly. Zhao Yun placed the bowls and chopsticks on the table. Oh, okay, Lu Lei replied. This meal was delicious, especially the bone soup. With the finely chopped green onions, the taste was delicious and the fragrance was strong. Lu Lei had never eaten Zhao Yun's cooking before. Now that he was eating, he couldn't help but sigh with emotion. Zhao Yun's cooking skills were really the best he had ever eaten. The dishes you cook are really delicious. Eat more if it's delicious. There's still more. No, I'm already very full. It's good that you're full, Brother Lazy. Don't be polite with me. Why would I, It's getting late. I'll go back first. Although Lu Lei was a little reluctant, he knew that he couldn't stay for too long, especially after dark. If he stayed at Zhao Yun's place, it would only make Zhao Yun gossip. Then, Brother Lazy, walk slowly. Be careful when it's dark. Don't trip. Zhao Yun reminded him. Lu Lei only felt a warmth in his heart as he responded in a crisp and clear voice. Just as he got up and was about to leave, Zhao Yun caught a glimpse of Lu's clothes. It seemed to be cut, so she called out to Lu Lazy. Brother Lazy, wait. Lu Lei asked, what's wrong, Yun? Brother Lazy, there's a big cut on your back. I think you cut it when you helped me fix the fence today. How about this, take off your clothes and I'll mend them for you. Lu Lei's face immediately turned red. Take off my clothes. Yun. This is not good. If someone saw it, it would be a joke. Zhao Yun knew what Lu Lei was thinking. Pfft, she laughed. Brother Lazy, if you're embarrassed to take off your clothes, how about this? You can bring it to me tomorrow. I'll make it up for you, okay? Okay. On the way back, Lu Lei had an impulse that he had never had before, and that was to marry Zhao Yun. After he had a wife, there would be someone to cook delicious food for him every day. Washing clothes and mending clothes could also be done by his wife. How warm would it be when the family ate together? By then, he and Zhao Yun would have a few children. Life would be perfect. Chapter 55. The next morning, Zhao Yun woke up early and prepared to go up the mountain. She had earned 800 copper coins from selling honey last time. After buying some things, she only had 350 copper coins left. The things she bought couldn't support her for long, so she had to earn money non-stop. In this era, there were no other ways to make a living. She could only go up the mountain to try her luck. Zhao Yun carried her basket up the mountain. This time, she didn't bring Daodu. Zhao Tianfu came to her house early and helped her take care of Daodu. She felt more at ease. There were dangers on the mountain. She could barely handle it alone. If she brought Daodu, it would be inconvenient. In the morning, the air on the mountain was very fresh. Zhao Yun didn't prepare to pick honey. Last time, she had to wait for at least half a month before she could pick again. Otherwise, she would destroy the beehive and wouldn't be able to pick any honey. She searched along the way to see if there was anything valuable. A lot of things grew in spring. Bamboo shoots and wild vegetables appeared. However, the villagers didn't like to eat these things. Besides the mountain, they could be picked in other places. After searching for half a day, Zhao Yun was a little disheartened. There were a lot of treasures on the mountain. It was all a lie. Just as she was about to go down the mountain, she saw a field of fresh mushrooms. These mushrooms were very beautiful. They looked like umbrellas. However, Zhao Yun knew that the more beautiful the mushroom, the more poisonous it was. When she went over, she could only hide on the ground and pick the mushrooms that she recognized as edible. After picking a basket full of mushrooms, Xiao Yun went down the mountain in satisfaction. She thought that if she brought these things to the city, she could more or less exchange them for some money, right? Right now, she wasn't greedy for money. She had to make sure that she and Dowda didn't starve to death. Halfway down the mountain, she met Shenpan Xiao Yun's eldest cousin-in-law, who came back from her maternal family. She was her uncle's daughter-in-law. Speaking of which, Shenpan's family was very well off. Her family lived in a small town and had some small businesses. They were much wealthier than the Zhao family. The reason why she was willing to marry into the Zhao family was because Xiao Yun's eldest cousin brother, Xiao Tianlong, was indeed quite good-looking. He had a dignified appearance and was a talent. When he was studying in town, he met Shenpan and became friends with her. The two of them walked together. The Shen family only had one daughter, Shenpan They doted on her to no end. If Shenpan wanted to be with Xiao Tianlong, the Shen family didn't object. The Shen family had thought about it. The Zhao family had a total of more than 10 mu of land. Furthermore, Xiao Tianlong was a scholar, and his studies were not bad. If he persevered for a few years, he should be able to pass the elementary scholar examination. After obtaining scholarly honors, his life would naturally not be too bad in the future. Shenpan and Xiao Yun were about the same age. When they returned, they took a carriage to the village. The Shen family was wealthy, so they had their own carriage. After seeing Xiao Yun from afar, Shenpan hurriedly asked the coachman to stop the carriage. "You can drop me off here. I'll walk back myself." "You can go back too," Shenpan said. As she spoke, she carried Xiao Yangyang down from the carriage with a bag of things in her hands. "All right then. Young miss, please be careful. I'll go back first." "Okay." Chapter 56. Shenpan coaxed, "It's not that far. It's okay to walk for a bit. Come, mother will hold your hand." When Shenpan looked at Xiao Yangyang, her gaze was very gentle. Her eyes were filled with tenderness. Xiao Yangyang still had an unhappy expression on his face as he pouted. Seeing Xiao Yangyang like this, Shenpan couldn't help but ask, "Yangyang, why are you so unhappy?" "Mother, Yangyang doesn't want to go home. I want to stay at grandmother's house. It's not good at home and there's no meat to eat. Grandmother's family eats meat every day," Xiao Yangyang said. Shenpan sighed. How could she not like to stay at her parents' house? However, after marrying into old Zhao's family, she was part of old Zhao's family. She couldn't always stay at her parents' house. She also couldn't be separated from Zhao Tianlong for too long. "Yangyang, be good. It's fine. Next time we go to grandmother's house, mother brought you a lot of snacks. It'll be enough for us to eat for a while." As Shenpan spoke, she waved the bag in her hand. Xiao Yangyang still responded unhappily. When Shenpan reached the intersection where Xiao Yun went down the mountain, she purposely stopped and waited for Xiao Yun to come over. Xiao Yun also saw Shenpan. She was wearing a purple silk dress with a silver hairpin in her hair. Compared to a bunch of people in the countryside who were wearing coarse linen clothes, she was very conspicuous. Shenpan waved at Xiao Yun. Xiao Yun frowned slightly. She was a little surprised that Shenpan would greet her. Other than her parents, the people in old Zhao's family didn't really like her. Shenpan appeared to be very friendly. Although Xiao Yun was puzzled, she still walked over and greeted Shenpan. "Sister-in-law, where did you go?" Shenpan smiled and nodded, and I went back to my parents' house. Yun where did you go? Did he go up the mountain? Faced with Shenpan's enthusiasm, Xiao Yuner was at a loss. After all, she wasn't familiar with Shenpan. But, seeing the concern in her eyes, Xiao Yuner couldn't be cold to her. Yes, I went up the mountain to pick up some things. Xiao Yun responded. Shenpan stuck her head out and glanced at the basket on Xiao Yuner's back. After glancing at it, she couldn't help but ask, Yuner, will anyone eat this? Everyone doesn't want it when they see it. Why did you make so many? Xiao Yuner only felt a chill in her heart. Could she say that she was going to sell these mushrooms? Looking at Shenpan's expression, it seemed that even the villagers despised this thing. They wouldn't even pick it up, let alone buy it. Yuner, did you raise a pig? Although people don't eat it, it's good to give it to a pig. Shenpan saw that Xiao Yuner didn't look too good, so she hurriedly added. Xiao Yuner felt that she couldn't communicate with Shenpan anymore. Sister-in-law, this thing tastes pretty good. It's delicious when I make it. Shenpan didn't quite believe it. Previously, she heard people say that it shouldn't be eaten. If it wasn't eaten properly, it could be poisoned. There were even cases of people being poisoned to death. So, no one in the village ate it. But, thinking about Xiao Yuner, perhaps it was because there was nothing else to eat at home that she brought it back. Chapter 57. As Shenpan spoke, she took out a dozen copper coins from her purse and handed it to Xiao Yuner. She then said to Xiao Yuner, Yuner, although it's not much, it's still a token of my sincerity. Don't mind it. Take it, okay? For some reason, even though Shenpan had good intentions, Xiao Yuner felt like she was giving alms to her. This feeling made Xiao Yuner very uncomfortable. Cousin-in-law, I appreciate your kindness, but we still have some food stored at home. I still have some spare cash, so I won't starve for the time being. Xiao Yuner said and didn't reach out to take the money Shenpan handed over. Yuner, are you being polite with me? Or do you think I'm giving you too little? Xiao Yuner shook her head. Cousin-in-law, you're thinking too much. I really don't have any. I'm not a stubborn person. If I really don't have anything to eat, I'll definitely accept the money you give me. Shenpan awkwardly put away the copper coins in her hand. Since you don't need it, then forget it. Yuner, if you have any difficulties, you can come to me. If I can help you, I'll help you. Xiao Yuner responded indifferently. Zhao Yangyang pulled Shenpan's hand and said, Mother, let's go home. Xiao Yuner glanced at Xiao Yangyang. He was the same age as Daodu and was only a few months older than Daodu. However, Xiao Yangyang was completely different from Daodu. From a young age, Xiao Yangyang's condition was much better than Dodo's. He was white and plump, and his little face was a little like Shenpan and Zhao Tianlong's. He was delicate and cute. Wearing bright clothes, he looked like a porcelain doll. A child like this would be loved wherever he went. Shenpan patted Xiao Yangyang's head. Yangyang, this is your second aunt. Hurry up and call her second aunt. No. Xiao Yangyang refused. Why, Yangyang? You're being rude. Mother, Grandma said she's a little slut and told Yangyang not to talk to her. Mother, you shouldn't talk to her either. Xiao Yangyang said in a childish voice. Xiao Yuner's expression stiffened. Shenpan hurriedly said to Xiao Yuner, Yuner, don't be angry. Yangyang is insensible. I'll go back and teach him a good lesson. It's fine. She couldn't argue. Then Yun, I'll be leaving first, Shenpan said. After saying goodbye to Shenpan, Xiao Yun returned home. She ate 8 pans. She was pan, meat, red and braised pork, meat braised porks braised. The reason why Shen Pan said that people in the countryside didn't eat mushrooms was because there were a lot of mushrooms and people in the countryside didn't care for them. Secondly, she didn't put any oil or water into the mushrooms. After Xiao Yun made the mushrooms, Dowda liked them very much and ate a few bowls of rice in a row. In the afternoon, Xiao Yun continued to work on her vegetable garden. The grass was removed and the soil was loose. She still had to apply fertilizer. There wasn't much fertilizer in the countryside, so Xiao Yun had to apply fertilizer according to the methods of the countryside. Chapter 58. She went to bed early that night. The next morning, Xiao Yun woke up and went to Papa Hu's place to take the ox cart. Other than the few women from last time, there were other people who went to Yang's city today. Basically, when the villagers went to the city, they either went to buy some things or to sell things for money. When the women from last time saw Xiao Yun coming over again, they couldn't help but stretch their heads to glance at the things in Xiao Yun's basket to see what Xiao Yun was going to sell today. When they caught a glimpse of the mushrooms in Xiao Yun's basket, they all revealed disdainful expressions. She really brings everything to the city. The city isn't the countryside. No one cares about this kind of thing. She's really crazy about money. It's really embarrassing to sell this thing. Why do you care so much? It won't sell anyway. Among these women's discussions, there was a hint of schadenfreude. Last time, Xiao Yun earned so much money in one go. This time, they wanted to see Xiao Yun make a fool of herself. It would be best if they didn't earn a single copper coin and even had to pay for the journey back and forth. Xiao Yun couldn't be bothered with these people. If she couldn't sell it, then so be it. After all, she didn't really expect these mushrooms to earn much money. Papa Hu also couldn't help but advise Xiao Yun, girl, it's better if you don't sell this thing. Previously, there were people in the village who went to try it, but they didn't sell a single bit. Papa Hu didn't want to see Xiao Yun waste time and money. It was better to go back early. Xiao Yun said, "It's fine, Papa Hu. I'm just going to the town to try my luck and buy some vegetable seeds to plant. It's fine if this thing can't be sold." "I see." Papa Hu nodded. Seeing that most of the people had arrived, the carriage let out a hee-hee sound and started to run. When they arrived in the city, Xiao Yun first followed these women. She carried her things and went to the market. She paid 3 copper coins for the stall fee and then began to sell mushrooms. Xiao Yun didn't feel shy. She raised her voice and shouted, "Everyone, take a look. Fresh mushrooms. Don't miss them." Even if he hadn't eaten pork before, he had seen pigs run away. Back when he often went to the market to buy groceries, the aunties who shouted the loudest and most enthusiastic had the best business. Xiao Yun shouted. Indeed, someone came over, but after seeing them, he immediately turned around and left. The women who came with Xiao Yun could not help but laugh at her again. They didn't believe me when I said that they couldn't sell it. Even if I shout at the top of my lungs now, no one will be willing to buy it. Sigh, why is he so thick-skinned? If it were me, I would feel embarrassed too. What a disgrace. Xiao Yun waited for more than 2 hours, but not a single mushroom was sold. Basically, no one was willing to eat this place. No matter how nice her words were, it was useless. It seemed that they really couldn't be sold. Xiao Yun thought that it was better to forget about it. She had only wasted 3 copper coins for the stall fee. The mushrooms could be made for Dowdu when she went back. She also liked to eat them. In addition, there were so many mushrooms. If they couldn't be eaten, they would probably go bad. She could dry them and then grind them into powder. She could put them in when she was cooking soup to make it more fresh. Ancient times weren't like modern times. There weren't any seasonings to make it more fresh. She hadn't made MSG and chicken powder yet. Chapter 59. Zhao Yunhe was disgusted by these women who seemed to be concerned but were actually gloating. No, I still have to buy things. I don't have time. Oh, then you go. Zhao Yunhe went to the market to shop. This time, not only did she not earn a single penny, but she also lost money. Her future was still uncertain. She was reluctant to sell many things even if she wanted to. Otherwise, she and Daodu's life would be in trouble once all the money was spent. For breakfast, Zhao Yunhe spent 1 copper coin to buy 2 vegetable buns to fill her stomach and some vegetable seeds. She spent a total of 5 copper coins. There were all kinds of dishes. Other than the spring dishes, she had prepared all the summer, autumn, and winter dishes. Seeing that it was still early, Zhao Yunhe didn't want to go back so early. She went to the market for a few more rounds. Last time, she didn't have time to look around so much, so she didn't know much. Now, she wanted to look around and observe for a business opportunity to make a fortune. Looking at the shops on both sides and the small stalls on the street, there were all kinds of things. What could she do to make money? She had to have her own unique style and do it better than others. She didn't have the capital to buy a shop on both sides of the street. If she wanted to do business, she could only set up a stall first. The stall fee was much cheaper than the rent of the shop. Just as Zhao Yunhe was thinking about her plan to make a fortune, a lot of people gathered in front of her. They gathered together and chattered. Zhao Yunhe walked towards the crowd, curious about what was going on. When she got closer, she saw that the crowd was surrounding a woman, an old lady. The woman looked to be in her 20s, with a big belly. She was a pregnant woman, lying on the ground with a painful expression. Beads of sweat appeared on her forehead. The old lady next to her looked flustered. She held the woman's hand and shouted, "Big Flower, are you okay? Don't scare Granny." "Mother, my stomach hurts," the woman said in pain. "Big Flower, are you going to give birth?" "It's not big, and there's no midwife. What should we do?" The old lady was extremely anxious. The onlookers were also talking about it. There were many cases of premature labor. Pregnant women would bump into their stomachs. Although they sympathized with the pregnant woman on the ground, no one knew how to deliver a baby. Even if he wanted to help, there was nothing he could do. This midwife can't be called over casually. Even if she is called over, she can't rush over immediately. Sigh, if everyone delivers the baby, won't people die? What should we do? Zhao Yunhe frowned. In her previous life, she would always deal with the problems that the commoners encountered in a timely manner. She was used to helping others. This time, when she saw the pregnant woman in such a situation, she couldn't just stand by and watch. Zhao Yunhe squeezed through the crowd and said to the pregnant woman on the ground, "Don't be nervous. Breathe steadily. I'll think of something." The old lady looked at Zhao Yunhe. She was young, but in this situation, someone came out to help her. She was very grateful. She might not be able to help, but at least she gave them some comfort. Zhao Yunhe also calmed down and thought of a solution. In another place, a luxurious horse-drawn carriage was moving slowly. Mu Lianfeng, who was in the carriage, specially instructed the coachman to drive slowly. Chapter 60. I know. It's precisely because she's here that we have to go back slowly, Mu Lianfeng said with a faint smile on his lips. Oh. The coachman nodded. He did not understand his master's thoughts. Anyway, he only knew that the master seemed to dislike seeing Miss Gu. Perhaps the old woman was anxious to bring them together. Stop in front of Fulai restaurant later. I have an appointment with someone. We'll go back after eating. Mu Lianfeng ordered again. Master, this is not good. What's not good about it? All right then, he did not dare to disobey the master's orders. The carriage galloped along and stopped when it passed by the crowd in front of it. The coachman said to Mu Lianfeng, Master, the road ahead is blocked. What should we do? Mu Lianfeng frowned. What happened? Master, I'll go and take a look. Okay. Mu Lianfeng responded. The coachman ran down to inquire and came back to report to Mu Lianfeng, Master, I heard that a lady is about to give birth. We're on the road now and don't know what to do. Mu Lianfeng stopped and frowned even more. He walked out of the carriage. The coachman hurriedly asked, Master, what are you doing? Saving someone. After Mu Lianfeng said those two words, he squeezed into the crowd. Master, you can't go. The coachman was a little anxious. Zhao Yun's gaze also fell on Mu Lianfeng's carriage. She had an idea about the carriage. At this time, the most important thing was to let the pregnant lady deliver the baby as soon as possible. Only by giving birth could the safety of the child and the mother be protected. People in this era could not accept delivering a baby in public. There was at least a place to hide in the carriage. Zhao Yun saw a man walking towards her. Zhao Yun recognized him immediately after seeing him for less than 2 days. The person who came was none other than the crown prince. Previously, she had only thought that this man was exceptionally good-looking. Now that he was walking down, his tall and slender figure was too charming. And that carriage was undoubtedly his as well. Just as Zhao Yun'er was about to ask Mu Lianfeng to borrow his car, Mu Lianfeng had already walked over. He squatted down and asked the pregnant woman on the ground, Is it very painful now? Don't be afraid. I'll take you to the clinic. Mu Lianfeng did not know much about women's childbirth and thought that the doctors in the premature delivery clinic would be able to solve it. After all, this man had good intentions. He was much better than the indifferent people around them. Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but say, Shitzi, this child is going to be born prematurely. It's useless to send it to the clinic. We have to deliver it now. We can't delay it for too long. Mu Lianfeng looked up and finally noticed Zhao Yun'er. It's you. Mu Lianfeng was secretly shocked, but there was a flash of joy in his eyes. It was really fate that he met this woman again. Zhao Yun'er didn't have time to chat with Mu Lianfeng. Thinking of Mu Lianfeng's appearance last time, she thought that his character should be good, so she directly said, Shitzi, can I borrow your carriage? Of course. But what do you need it for? I'll deliver the baby. We can't delay it any longer. Zhao Yun'er said. In her previous life, she met a pregnant woman on the road who broke her amniotic fluid and gave birth prematurely. However, she didn't understand at that time. Fortunately, a passing nurse helped to deliver the baby while she watched from the side. Chapter 61. Although she was not very practical, she was good at theory. At least she knew what to do. It was better to give it a try than to just wait. Human lives were not to be taken lightly. Mu Lianfeng was silent for a moment and looked at the woman in front of him. He did not know why, but he felt that there was a light around her. It was dull, but it was dazzling. No woman had ever attracted him as much as Zhao Yun'er. Mu Lianfeng retracted his gaze and responded. Then he picked up the pregnant woman on the ground. Even though he was of noble status, he was very concerned about the ordinary people. He did not show any disdain for the pregnant woman on the ground. Most people with status in this era would not be able to do this. Mu Lianfeng's tall figure carried the pregnant woman in his arms effortlessly. Zhao Yun looked at Mu Lianfeng from the side. She felt that this man was even more impressive in her eyes. Mu Lianfeng carried the pregnant woman to his carriage. The coachman hurriedly tried to persuade him. "Lord Heir, you can't do this. If the woman gives birth in your carriage, it will be too unlucky." In ancient times, it was believed that a woman giving birth was very unlucky. After all, there would be blood. Of course, there was no scientific basis for this. It was just that the ancient people were too superstitious. Human lives are the most important, Mu Lianfeng said with a serious expression. The coachman did not dare to say anything more to Mu Lianfeng. He could only worry at the side. If the old madam knew about this, she would probably scold him to death. Zhao Yun glanced at the coachman with some displeasure. She did not have a good impression of selfish people. Of course, when it came to people like Mu Lianfeng, she actually liked this man. Mu Lianfeng carried the pregnant woman into the carriage. He lowered the curtain and stepped down from the carriage. He said to Zhao Yun, "Miss, I've already sent her into the carriage. I'll leave the rest to you." Zhao Yun felt that the responsibility was a little heavy, but she still nodded heavily. "Well, can you get me some hot water and a pair of scissors?" It was easy to get some hot water and scissors from the shops on both sides. "Okay." After Mu Lianfeng responded, Zhao Yun got into the carriage. The old lady held her daughter-in-law's hand tightly. "Big Flower, you have to hold on. Nothing can happen to you. Do you understand? Big Flower, hang in there." After a while, hot water and scissors were sent over. Zhao Yun slowly guided the pregnant woman. First, she asked the old lady to chat with her and let her relax. At this time, the more nervous the pregnant woman was, the harder it would be for her to give birth. Zhao Yun did it step by step according to the previous theory. She was a little nervous for the first time. If she didn't do it well, people would die. She tried her best to calm herself down. If she couldn't calm down at this time, this pregnant woman was really hopeless. After working in the carriage for an hour, Zhao Yun's forehead was covered in a layer of cold sweat. Finally, wah wah wah, the baby's cries were heard. Many people outside who were watching the show finally heaved a sigh of relief. This child was finally born. Chapter 62. This was the first life that she had delivered, and she had gone through a lot of hardships. This was not only a life, but it was also very important to her. Zhao Yun handed the wrapped baby to the old granny. "Congratulations, it's a boy." Zhao Yun knew that people in ancient times liked boys, and they had a strong preference for boys over girls. The moment the old granny received her grandson, she was choked with sobs and could not speak. Her wife was fine, and her grandson was also fine. Both mother and son were safe, and her originally calm heart finally settled down. "Miss, thank you, thank you." The old granny was so grateful to Zhao Yun that she almost knelt in front of Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun hurriedly helped the old granny up. "Granny, let's not talk about this first. You have to thank me for sending your wife over, and take good care of her. Her body is weak now, give her some sugar water and eggs to eat. This kind of heavy bleeding, she had to replenish her blood." The old granny hurriedly nodded. "Okay, miss, you are a living Buddha, you saved our family. I won't forget your great kindness." After the old granny finished speaking, she turned to look at her wife, her face full of heartache. But fortunately, her body was just a little weak, and she was fine. This time, if it were not for Zhao Yun, 2 lives might have been lost. "I'm fine." After Zhao Yun finished speaking, she only felt a wave of dizziness. For more than 2 hours, she had concentrated all her energy, and her mind was still in a state of high tension, so her physical strength could not hold on. Now, this body's constitution was really too weak. Big Hua, how are you now? Look, you gave birth to a son. The old lady asked. Then, she carried the baby in front of her daughter-in-law and let her take a look at it. The corners of the woman's mouth revealed a trace of a gratified smile. The moment she saw her child, she felt that all the hard work was worth it. Mother, I'm fine. The woman replied, her voice was a little hoarse. Wife, have a good rest, it will be fine when we get home later. Granny, where do you live? Xiao Yun asked. In this state, the woman had to be sent back in a carriage. She couldn't withstand too much torment. My house is right at the city gate. It's not far away. The old lady hurriedly replied. That's good. Grandma, wait for me. Xiao Yuner said as she got off the carriage. She wanted to discuss with Mu Lianfeng to let him send these two people back. She felt that since Mu Lianfeng allowed her to deliver the baby in his carriage, this man's heart was definitely not bad. It should still be possible to discuss it with him. Miss, Mu Lianfeng looked at Xiao Yun with his dark eyes when he saw Xiao Yun Her face was somewhat pale, and her forehead was full of beads of sweat. A trace of heartache flashed across her heart. She took out a handkerchief and handed it to Xiao Yuner. Miss, why don't you wipe your sweat? Are the mother and son inside okay? Xiao Yuner was startled, but she still took Mu Lianfeng's handkerchief and said softly, thank you. The mother and son are safe, nothing serious. That's good. Mu Lianfeng's heart was also relieved. Chapter 63. It's okay. You can keep it, Mu Lianfeng said. Okay, Xiao Yun retracted her hand and put the handkerchief into her sleeve. Well. Your Highness, can I ask you for another favor? Xiao Yun asked. Go ahead, Mississippi, the woman on the carriage has just given birth. Her body is very weak and she can't move at will. I don't know if your Highness can send them home. They live near the city gate and don't have much choice. Sure. Mu Lianfeng agreed without hesitation. Xiao Yun's mouth also has a shallow smile, revealing two dimples, which is very beautiful. Mu Lianfeng was a little dazed for a moment. Xiao Yun's appearance was not stunning. He had seen many beauties who were more beautiful than Xiao Yun. However, this woman's delicate and pretty face, especially when she smiled, made his heart throb a little. Your Highness, you're a good man, Xiao Yun said. Then, she took her basket and prepared to go back. She did not know if Father Hu's ox carriage was still waiting for her after such a long delay. Maybe he had already left. After Xiao Yun carried the basket, she stood up again and felt dizzy. Her head was heavy and her feet were light. After a few steps, she felt her body go limp and fell to the ground. Just as Xiao Yun was about to be in close contact with the ground, a pair of hands behind her gently wrapped around her waist and caught her. Xiao Yun only felt that she was in a broad and warm embrace. She also smelled a fresh and elegant pleasant smell between her nostrils. However, her eyelids were too heavy and she fell asleep after a while. When Xiao Yun woke up again, she found herself lying on a bed and covered with a quilt. Where was she? She turned her head and found Mu Lianfeng sitting at the table quietly reading a book. Mu Lianfeng also felt the movement and looked at Xiao Yun. You're awake. Xiao Yun's first reaction was that Daodu was still waiting for her at home. Where am I? What time is it now? Xiao Yun asked. The restaurant. You fainted, so I brought you here. I asked the doctor to see you. You're just too tired. There's nothing serious. It's the hour of the afternoon now. Mu Lianfeng said. His voice was very pleasant to the ear. The hour of the afternoon was 2:00 in the afternoon. Oh my God. It's so late. What should I do? Daodu was probably worried to death. She had to hurry back now. Xiao Yun immediately lifted the quilt on her body and got up from the bed. Lord Shitzi, thank you. I have to go back now. Seeing Xiao Yun in a hurry, Mu Lianfeng's expression became serious. He said to Xiao Yun, Miss, your body is weak now. You have to recuperate well. Where is your home? I'll ask someone to send you a message. Xiao Yun knew that Mu Lianfeng was concerned about her, but how could she rest well? She shook her head and said, Lord Shitzi, I have to go back. My son is alone at home. I don't feel at ease. He's probably worried sick now. After Xiao Yun said this, Mu Lianfeng was slightly startled. Xiao Yun didn't look old. He didn't expect her to have a child. In that case, she was already married. Chapter 64. I see. Miss, why don't I send you back? Mu Lianfeng said. Looking at Xiao Yun's current physical condition, Mu Lianfeng could not rest assured to let Xiao Yun go back alone. Your Highness, isn't this too much trouble for you? Mu Lianfeng had already helped her a lot today. If she continued to ask Mu Lianfeng for help, she would feel a little embarrassed. The heir of the crown prince must have his own matters to attend to. It's fine. I happen to be free. Mu Lianfeng said. Xiao Yun thought for a while. At this time, even if she went back, she did not have an ox cart. If she chartered a cart, it would probably cost at least dozens of copper coins. She only had a dozen copper coins in her pocket. Not to mention that it was a waste of money, it was not enough at all. She was not a person who liked to be brave. Now that she was rushing back to the village, it would be best if someone could send her back. So when she faced Mu Lianfeng, she did not refuse. In that case, thank you, Your Highness. Mu Lianfeng's horse carriage drove in the direction of Shuilan village with a few people. Along the way, the coachman did not have a good expression. He had foreseen the consequences of his actions. He would definitely be criticized by his old madam. He did not know what Your Highness was doing. Even if he was warm-hearted, he was too warm-hearted. Mu Lianfeng and Xiao Yun did not speak much. The horse carriage ran much faster than the ox cart, so in less than half an hour, they arrived at the entrance of the village. The village had never seen such a luxurious horse carriage. Everyone looked sideways and wondered what kind of important person had come to the village. In the end, the horse carriage stopped in front of Xiao Yun's shabby house. We're here. Xiao Yun said to the coachman and pointed the way along the way. When they arrived at her house, she hurriedly asked the coachman to stop. Mu Lianfeng also got out of the carriage. When he looked up at the shabby house in front of him, a strange feeling grew in his heart. This is Xiao Yun's home. The house in front of him was on the verge of collapse. Not only that, some of the straw on the roof had not been filled. It would definitely leak when it rained. How could anyone live in such a house? It couldn't be any more simple and crude. This was probably the most dilapidated house in the village. Mu Lianfeng looked at Xiao Yun with heartache. This woman must have suffered a lot. He suddenly wanted to protect her and give her a good life. Your Highness, I'm home. You can go back. Be careful on the road. Xiao Yun said. She turned around and hurried into her room. She was worried about Daodu and couldn't wait to see him. Mu Lianfeng didn't move. Instead, he looked at Xiao Yun's back. Seeing her enter the house, he was very disappointed. Your Highness, shouldn't we be leaving? The coachman couldn't help but urge. How could a person with such a noble status like his young master come to such a dilapidated place? Mu Lianfeng replied indifferently, "What's the hurry?" All right, he was wrong. He shouldn't have said so much. But the coachman couldn't understand why His Highness was staying here. Seeing Mu Lianfeng's strange attitude toward Zhao Yun, could it be that he had taken a fancy to this young lady? Chapter 65. Dowdu responded to her, his voice trembling with fear. Zhao Yun entered the house and realized that Zhao Ping was also in her house. She was rummaging through the cabinets for something. "What are you doing?" Zhao Yun asked angrily. Zhao Ping was stunned. Only then did she realize that Zhao Yun was back. Dowdu and Zhao Tianfu watched Zhao Ping rummaging through the cabinets. The two children couldn't stop Zhao Ping, so they could only let Zhao Ping do whatever she wanted. Dowdu saw Zhao Yun and immediately rushed to Zhao Yun and threw himself into Zhao Yun's arms. "Mother, what happened to Dowdu?" Zhao Yun touched Dowdu. She saw that there were tears in his eyes and there was a palm-sized red mark on his little face. Her heart sank. It was obvious that someone had slapped Dowdu. It seemed that the person had not been gentle. She didn't even need to think to know who had slapped Dowdu. Zhao Yun exploded. How could Zhao Ping be so ruthless? How could she do that to a 3-year-old child? Zhao Ping didn't know what to say after being caught red-handed by Zhao Yun. Wasn't this little b** tch not at home? Why did she come back? I'm asking you what you're doing here. Zhao Yun's voice became colder. It was as if she wanted to eat someone. I'm here. Zhao Ping felt guilty. After all, it wasn't something to be proud of. Zhao Yun stared coldly at Zhao Ping. Her lips curled into a mocking smile. You came to my house and rummaged through my cabinets to look for something. Are you trying to be a thief? Our village has a rule that if you steal from someone else's house, you'll be kicked out of the village. Our village doesn't accept people with dirty hands and feet. Zhao Ping exploded when she heard this. This little b** tch actually dared to call her a thief and even wanted to kick her out of the village. Zhao Yun, who's a thief? Don't falsely accuse me. Zhao Yun sneered. Not a thief. Then you'll have to ask someone else. Me. I wasn't at home and you were rummaging through my cabinets. What was it if it wasn't a thief? You. Zhao Ping was stumped by Zhao Yun and didn't know what to say. After thinking for a while, she said, Zhao Yun, you're my younger sister. Even if I came to your house to look for something, so what? Thieves steal from other people's houses. I'm looking for my own house. How can I be considered a thief? Also, Zhao Ping simply continued to be shameless to the end. I heard that you went to the city to sell things and earned a few hundred copper coins. Hurry up and hand it over to me. This money has to be handed over to father and mother for safekeeping. Zhao Yun finally figured out why Zhao Ping came over. So she wanted to come to her house to look for money. She naturally didn't feel at ease leaving the things and money at home. So she dug a hole next to the kitchen and hid the food and money inside. She covered it with straw and looked very hidden. Most people wouldn't think of it and wouldn't be able to find it. Fortunately, she did this. Otherwise, the little money she saved with great difficulty would have been plundered by Zhao Ping. What does it have to do with you whether I give it or not? Father and mother haven't come over to ask me for it yet and you're already worried. Or do you want this money yourself and just use father and mother as an excuse? Xiao Yun coldly questioned. This just happened to expose Xiao Ping Chapter 66. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao felt that Xiao Yun'er's life was not easy. They could not take away the money that she had earned with great difficulty. In the future, Xiao Yun'er's life would need to be improved slowly. Zhao Ping'er did not think so. If she could get some money from Zhao Yun'er, she could secretly save up to buy some food, or buy some silk flowers and jewelry to dress herself up. This way, she could get married. Unfortunately, her parents did not have a single cent. It was all managed by Hu Chunhua. It was absolutely impossible to get Hu Chunhua to spit it out. Anyway, she could get as much as she could from Zhao Yun'er. What are you talking about? I don't have it. Hurry up and take out the money. Zhao Ping'er said. She stretched out her hand and asked Zhao Yun'er for the money. Since father and mother want it, I will consider it again when they come. I won't give it to you now. Who knows what you are thinking? You, Zhao Ping'er glared at Zhao Yun'er. If you don't want to give it to me, then don't give it to me. I will make you spit it out. Zhao Ping'er said and prepared to leave. She wanted to leave after hitting someone and ransacking their things. How could it be so easy? Before Zhao Ping'er could take a step, Zhao Yun'er grabbed Zhao Ping'er. Zhao Yun'er, what do you want to do? Zhao Ping'er asked. What do I want to do? Zhao Yun'er's eyes flashed a trace of fierceness. Don't you know what you have done? What did I do? Let go of me quickly. Zhao Ping'er struggled. Zhao Yun'er slapped Zhao Ping'er's face with the back of her hand. Don't know. Very good. Since you don't know, I'll let you know now. Zhao Yun'er was too lazy to talk so much with Zhao Ping'er. It was more practical to fight. She slapped Daodu, so she had to get it back on her face. Zhao Ping'er felt a burning pain on her face. She was stunned for a moment before she reacted. Zhao Yun'er actually hit her. You hit me. Zhao Ping'er said angrily. Zhao Yun'er didn't wait for Zhao Ping'er to say more. She slapped the other side of Zhao Ping'er's face. Zhao Yun'er had used all of her strength in both attacks. Giving Zhao Yun'er 2 slaps was already being polite to her. If they weren't family, she wouldn't have been so ruthless. She would have been even more ruthless to Zhao Ping'er. That's right, I hit you. My Daodu was slapped by you. You can even do it to a child. How ruthless are you? This slap is for you, and the other slap is the interest. You better remember that. Daodu is my son. I will protect him. If anyone dares to hit him in the future, my fist won't be to be trifled with. Zhao Ping'er was momentarily stunned by Zhao Yun'er's imposing manner. She didn't know what to say. Naturally, she didn't dare to ask Zhao Yun'er for it. She couldn't beat Zhao Yun'er. If she rushed forward, she would be courting death. But she was still unwilling. She couldn't let Zhao Yun hit her for nothing, right? Zhao Ping'er bit her lower lip and said, Zhao Yun'er, just you wait. I won't let you go. Okay, I'll wait. Zhao Yun'er was fearless. Naturally, she wasn't afraid of Zhao Ping'er. She wanted to see how she could deal with her. Chapter 67. When Zhao Ping'er saw that beautiful face, she was immediately stunned. How could there be such a good-looking man? He was dressed in brocade, gorgeous and noble. His hair was tied up neatly, and his pair of sword-like eyebrows made his originally soft and beautiful face look much more heroic. The most beautiful thing about him was his pair of eyes, which were as black as gemstones. Usually, the men in the village were all country bumpkins. Let's not talk about their looks first. How could they afford to wear such beautiful clothes? Zhao Ping stared at Mu Lianfeng, somewhat lost her soul. Such a good-looking man almost stole her soul. Mu Lianfeng frowned in displeasure at Zhao Ping's blatant stare. Zhao Yun saw Mu Lianfeng come in and asked, "Shi Ziyi, why haven't you left yet?" "Shi Ziyi." Zhao Ping heard Zhao Yun address Mu Lianfeng and was slightly surprised. The man in front of her was Shi Ziyi. Shi Ziyi's status was not ordinary. He was honorable. How could he come to the countryside and know Zhao Yun? Mu Lianfeng's gaze moved away from Zhao Ping and looked at Zhao Yun. His originally cold eyes became much gentler. He said softly to Zhao Yun, "I saw some movement in your room. I thought something happened to you, so I came to see." Mu Lianfeng said. Zhao Ping saw Mu Lianfeng talking to Zhao Yun so gently and was extremely jealous. Mu Lianfeng did not even look at her. His attitude towards Zhao Yun was completely different. "Oh. I'm fine." Zhao Yun responded faintly. She did not want Mu Lianfeng to see the situation in her house. Of course, this man came because he cared about her, so she couldn't blame him. "That's good," Mu Lianfeng said. Zhao Yun caught a glimpse of Zhao Ping who was still in the room. Seeing the way she looked at Mu Lianfeng, she knew that she was in love with him. An unmarried young lady staring at a man without any sense of shame. Zhao Yun snapped at Zhao Ping, "Why aren't you leaving? Do you want to slap me a few more times?" Zhao Ping was a little unwilling. Facing such a good-looking man like the heir of the crown prince, if she left, the opportunity would be left to Zhao Yun. But what reason did he have to stay? Zhao Ping covered her face and reluctantly looked at Mu Lianfeng before leaving. Zhao Yun squatted down in front of Daodu and touched Daodu's little face. "Daodu, let me tell you, was it your aunt who hit you?" Daodu nodded and responded. "Does it hurt?" "It hurts." In the end, he was still a child. Under Zhao Yun's gentleness, he suddenly burst into tears. "Nyangqin," Daodu hugged Zhao Yun, causing Zhao Yun's heart to ache even more. Daodu had suffered such a big grievance today, so her heart could not be good. "All right, Daodu, don't cry. Nyangqin has already helped you vent your anger. Nyangqin will cook something delicious for you to eat later." Zhao Yun coaxed softly. Mu Lianfeng stood quietly at the side. When he looked at Zhao Yun and Daodu, his heart began to ache. He didn't know why, but he had an impulse to hug this mother and son. Chapter 68. Mu Lianfeng looked at the situation inside the house again. Zhao Yun's house looked dilapidated from the outside, and it was even more dilapidated on the inside. There was no decent furniture at all. Even the bed was padded with straw. There was only a thin quilt that looked very old. Mu Lianfeng immediately thought of 4 words, a house with 4 bare walls. It was very suitable for Zhao Yun's house. "Mother, I'm dizzy," Daodu said in a soft voice. He hugged Zhao Yun and refused to let go. "Dizzy? Why is Daodu dizzy? Was he beaten by aunt or is he hungry? Daodu hasn't had lunch yet, right?" Zhao Yun was a little anxious. She was afraid that something would happen to Daodu. Looking at Daodu in her arms, her little face suddenly flushed red. Zhao Yun realized that something was wrong. She touched Daodu's face and forehead and found that it was very hot. Did Daodu have a fever? Otherwise, it wouldn't be like this. What should she do? Such a young child, if he had a fever, it would be a very serious matter. If it wasn't handled well, it could leave behind some illness. Daodu, you're sick. Mother will take you to see a doctor. Xiao Yun carried Daodu. She wanted to find the village doctor, but she wasn't sure if he was at home. Second sister. Zhao Tianfu hurriedly followed behind. Xiao Yun said to Zhao Tianfu, Tianfu, second sister wants to take Daodu to see a doctor. Can you help second sister close the door? Yes, yes. Zhao Tianfu nodded heavily. He was very sensible. Xiao Yun didn't have time to think too much about it. Daodu's little hands were hugging her tightly. She didn't know if it was because he was frightened today, or if it was because of Zhao Ping slap. Mu Lianfeng came back to his senses and said to Zhao Yuner, I'll send you to Yang City. The doctors there are good. He'll definitely be fine. Although Zhao Yuner was embarrassed to trouble Mu Lianfeng, it seemed that there was no better way. If she went to the village doctor's house and he wasn't home, she didn't know how long it would take for her to go to Yang City. Furthermore, the village doctor's medical skills were limited. Their standards were not very high, so their efficiency in administering medicine and treating illnesses naturally could not be compared to the doctors in Yang City. Xiao Yun could not afford to be careless about Daodu's illness, so she agreed with Mu Lianfeng's idea. All right. Let's go. Mu Lianfeng watched as the mother and son got into the carriage. His heart was very complicated. He didn't know why he cared about Zhao Yuner, paid attention to her, and even felt sorry for her. Was it because he pitied her? Mu Lianfeng was a little upset because of his own special feelings. He followed Zhao Yuner into the carriage. The coachman was even more unhappy now. His master had been tormented back and forth today. He probably wouldn't be able to go home tonight. He wasn't worried about anything else, but he was worried about the old madam scolding. Anyway, she wouldn't vent her anger on Mu Lianfeng. He would be the scapegoat. Inside the carriage, the ride was bumpy, and Xiao Yun hugged Daodu tightly. At this moment, Daodu was even more confused. It was probably because he felt too safe in her arms that he finally fell into a deep sleep. Mu Lianfeng's gaze was fixed on Zhao Yuner and Daodu. Looking at Zhao Yuner's small and thin body, he really wanted to hug her and let her lean on him. Chapter 69. Looking at the situation in Zhao Yuner's family, he didn't see the man in the family appear when something happened to the child. It was very puzzling. Zhao Yuner replied indifferently, he's dead. Anyway, she didn't know who Daodu's father was. It was best if that man didn't appear. She would just pretend that he was dead. If he really came over to affect her and Daodu's lives, she wouldn't be happy. Ahem, ahem. Mu Lianfeng coughed a few times, feeling his heart ache. That is to say, Xiao Yun is taking care of a 3-year-old child by herself. How difficult is it for this woman? Are you okay? Xiao Yun looked up and asked. It was as if she was concerned. I'm fine. I'm sorry, I mentioned something sad. It's okay. Xiao Yun shook her head. Mu Lianfeng realized that Zhao Yun's eyes didn't reveal a trace of sadness, as if what she said just now was very normal. This shouldn't be the reaction that this woman should have. The carriage arrived at Yang City. Because of Mu Lianfeng's identity, Daodu was sent to the best medical center, and the best doctor in the medical center came to treat him. Daodu was indeed running a high fever. The doctor hurriedly gave Daodu medicine. By night, his condition improved a lot, and the fever on his forehead gradually subsided. Xiao Yun stayed in front of Daodu, afraid that something would happen to Daodu. Miss, eat something. Mu Lianfeng's pleasant voice sounded from behind Xiao Yun. Xiao Yun turned her head and saw Mu Lianfeng coming over with a bowl of lean meat porridge. His tone and eyes were full of concern. After Zhao Yuner arrived at the medical center, Mu Lianfeng accompanied the mother and son and never left. Zhao Yuner also persuaded Mu Lianfeng to go back and ignore them, but Mu Lianfeng refused. She didn't say anything else. Mu Lianfeng's fair and slender fingers were even prettier than a woman's. He held a porcelain bowl in his hand, which made him look even more exquisite. "I'm not hungry. You haven't eaten for a whole day. How can you not be hungry? Hurry up and eat it. If you collapse, what will happen to your son? Who will guard him? Who will take care of him?" Zhao Yuner looked at the man in front of her. He stood tall and straight in front of her. It could give people a sense of dependence. "Good girl, eat it." Mu Lianfeng's voice became gentle again. He squatted on the ground and prepared to feed Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner blushed. I'll eat it myself." "Okay." Mu Lianfeng handed the bowl over. Zhao Yuner ate it. It was a light porridge with some lean meat and egg in it. It tasted quite delicious. Zhao Yuner finished the bowl very quickly. "Thank you for today." Zhao Yuner thanked Mu Lianfeng. She felt that it was too troublesome. "It's nothing." Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a smile. He didn't know why, but he was willing to be troubled by Zhao Yuner. The next day, Daodu's fever finally subsided. Zhao Yuner's heart was also relieved. The doctor prescribed 2 more sets of medicine and instructed Zhao Yuner to boil the medicine for Daodu on time. He would be fine in 2 days. "Doctor, how much is the medicine and the treatment fee?" Zhao Yuner asked. She could guess that it must be a lot of money. She didn't have any money in her pocket now, so she couldn't afford it at all. Later, she would have to discuss the matter of credit. "A total of 5 taels of silver," the doctor said. Chapter 70. 5 taels of silver was not a small sum. An ordinary family would not be able to afford it at all. Right now, she found it difficult to even feed herself and Daodu, let alone take out 5 taels of silver. Even if it was on credit, when would she be able to pay back these 5 taels of silver? "Doctor, the doctor seemed to have noticed Zhao Yuner's anxiety. How could a woman from the countryside, dressed in such shabby and plain clothes, take out 3 taels of silver? Thus, he comforted Zhao Yuner. "Young lady, you don't have to worry. The heir has already paid for your medical expenses." Mu Lianfeng had already paid for her. Zhao Yuner did not know that Mu Lianfeng had actually helped her so much. At this moment, other than gratitude, there was something else in her heart. Zhao Yuner did not know when she would be able to repay Mu Lianfeng's kindness. "Young lady, go back and have a good rest. These few days, make more delicious food for the child to nourish his body." Yes, thank you, doctor." Zhao Yuner carried Daodu out of the medical center. There was a carriage parked outside the medical center. It belonged to Mu Lianfeng. When the coachman saw Zhao Yuner coming out, he hurried forward and said, "Young lady, get in the carriage. My heir asked me to send you back." Zhao Yuner recognized the coachman and nodded. She had already received so much kindness from Mu Lianfeng, so it did not matter if she received more. In any case, she would slowly repay him in the future. After Zhao Yuner got into the carriage, the coachman said, "Young lady, my heir will be here in a while. He is going to buy some things now. He asked you to wait for a while." "Okay." Zhao Yuner responded. Later, she still had to thank Mu Lianfeng in person. She would definitely return the money that he had paid for her later on. She could not let him help her pay for the medical expenses. Although Mu Lianfeng was the heir of the crown prince, he did not lack money. After a while, Mu Lianfeng returned. He was carrying some things in his hand. There were longans, red dates, brown sugar, and some pork. It was estimated to be about 5 or 6 caddies. Looking at these things, Zhao Yun was a little puzzled. It seemed that Mu Lianfeng did not buy them for himself. Before Mu Lianfeng reached the carriage, another man jumped out from not far away. He was dressed in a white robe and looked like an elegant young master. He looked like a handsome young master. Although his looks could not be compared to Mu Lianfeng, his looks were definitely good. "Ah, Feng!" the man called out with a grin. Mu Lianfeng raised his head and glanced at the man. Then he retracted his gaze away from him. When the man saw Mu Lianfeng's reaction, he was clearly stunned for a few seconds. What the hell? She's actually ignoring me. "Ah, Feng!" The man jumped in front of Mu Lianfeng and blocked Mu Lianfeng's way. He questioned Mu Lianfeng, "You brat, you stood me up yesterday. Today, you saw me and you're ignoring me. What are you doing?" "Ah, Chen, I have something to do." "I'll tell you later," Mu Lianfeng said. At this moment, he could not think of anything else. His mind was only filled with Zhao Yun and Daodu. Helian Chen sized up Mu Lianfeng. He was a little curious. What could this guy do? Looking at him, he was carrying so many things in his hands. Something was not right. "What are you doing?" Su Chen asked. "Sending someone home." Chapter 71. Yes. A man or a woman? Helian Chen had a gossipy look. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng did not speak, Helian Chen also guessed. It was most likely a woman. If it was a man, there was nothing to hide. Helian Chen patted Mu Lianfeng's shoulder. "Ah, Feng, I don't want to say this, but this is not your style. Who doesn't know that you don't even allow women to get close to you? Now you're taking the initiative to send a woman home." Looking at Helian Chen's gossipy face, Mu Lianfeng directly rolled his eyes. This fellow, he could think whatever he wanted. "Move aside first," Mu Lianfeng said. "Ah, Feng, you haven't told me the specific situation. Is she beautiful? Is she a peerless beauty? Which family's daughter can actually catch your eye? Let me guess. Which family's daughter in Yang City is not bad?" While Helian Chen was thinking hard for a moment, Mu Lianfeng had already walked away and made way for the carriage. Feng, wait for me." Mu Lianfeng hurriedly chased after him. When he reached the front of the carriage, he saw Mu Lianfeng stop. "The beauty is inside?" Helian Chen asked softly. "Yes." Mu Lianfeng responded. He was afraid that this fellow would make a fuss again and say something that Zhao Yun heard. He would make a fool of himself then. Helian Chen was a little agitated. He stretched his head, wanting to see who was sitting in the carriage. Mu Lianfeng, a 10,000-year-old single dog, should find a woman to accompany him. But when he leaned over to take a look, he realized that there was no great beauty sitting in the carriage. It was just a little girl who did not look very old. She was carrying a 3-year-old child in her arms. It should be her son. Helian Chen looked at Zhao Yun's outfit. It was obvious that she was a rural woman. Moreover, she was a rural woman who had a child. Her body was even skinnier. Her face was more delicate and pretty. Her appearance was not bad, but the difference between her and Mu Lianfeng was still too big. Helian Chen was a little shocked. Mu Lianfeng wouldn't fall for such a woman, would he? However, she wasn't as good as the girls in the manors in Yang City. Mu Lianfeng climbed into the carriage and sat inside. He nodded at Zhao Yun. "I'll send you back," Mu Lianfeng said. "This isn't a good idea, right?" Zhao Yun looked at Mu Lianfeng. This man had nothing else to do. He had wasted 2 days on her. What's wrong with that? Miss, do you not want me to accompany you? No, no, no. That's not what I meant, Xiao Yun said hurriedly. I just feel that you've already helped me a lot, and I'm very grateful. I don't want to trouble you anymore. You're trying to distance yourself from me. Mu Lianfeng said calmly. How could that be? This man really thought too much. If that's not the case, then don't reject me. I'm not a child. I know what I'm doing. Whether it's troublesome or not, I know better than anyone else. All right, Xiao Yun realized that she had no way to refute. In order to prevent Mu Lianfeng from misunderstanding, she should just let him be. That, Lord, I heard from the doctor that you helped me pay for the medical fees. Don't worry, I'll definitely return the money to you later. Mu Lianfeng looked at Xiao Yun, a serious expression. He wanted to say that there was no need. However, Xiao Yun was a little stubborn and would still insist on returning the money to him. Chapter 72. Other than thanking him, Xiao Yun did not know what else to say. Helianchen blinked as if he had seen a ghost. He could not believe it no matter what. Mu Lianfeng actually spoke to a woman. And said it so gently. Mu Lianfeng called out to the coachman. Let's go. All right, Lord Heir. When the coachman was about to whip the horse and set off, Helianchen also hurriedly jumped into the carriage. I'm going too. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Helianchen indifferently, a hint of disdain in his tone. What are you going to do? Helianchen giggled. Ah, Feng, I have nothing to do anyway, so I'll accompany you. You stood me up yesterday, so we have to stay together today. Mu Lianfeng was a little unwilling, but he knew Helianchen's character. It would not be so easy for this shameless fellow to leave. After Helianchen climbed into the carriage, he greeted Xiao Yun with a smile and started to introduce himself. Hello miss, I'm Helianchen, Ah Feng's friend. Xiao Yun knew that the Ah Feng that Helianchen was referring to was naturally Murong Feng. When Helianchen greeted her, Xiao Yun also responded politely. Then she did not say anything else and hugged Daodu in her arms. Daodu had already woken up and had not eaten for a long time, so Xiao Yun asked, Daodu, are you hungry? I'm hungry. Daodu looked pitifully at Xiao Yun. This illness was not light for this child. Daodu's body was very weak now. Xiao Yun coaxed gently. It's okay. When we go back later, Mother will make good food for Daodu. Okay. Daodu nodded sensibly and did not argue with Xiao Yun. Quietly in Xiao Yun's arms, feeling the warmth of Xiao Yun's body. Helianchen couldn't help but stare at Xiao Yun. He really couldn't figure out what it was about Xiao Yun that attracted Mu Lianfeng. She was just an ordinary peasant woman. There was nothing special about her at all. Cough, Mu Lianfeng coughed a few times as a reminder to Helianchen that this guy kept staring at Xiao Yun. How impolite was that? Helianchen smiled embarrassedly and stopped sizing her up. Then, he chatted casually. Since it was a woman that Mu Lianfeng was interested in, he naturally had to ask clearly and find out more about her background. However, the more he asked, the more he felt that it was impossible for Xiao Yun and Mu Lianfeng to be together. Their statuses and backgrounds were worlds apart. Not to mention being Mu Lianfeng's legal wife, even if she was to be Mu Lianfeng's concubine, the old woman in the Mu clan would probably not agree to it. After knowing what happened to Xiao Yun, Helianchen felt that Mu Lianfeng's feelings for Xiao Yun should only be sympathy. After a while, the carriage finally arrived at Shui Lan village. This time, the carriage's return was still eye-catching. Xiao Yun got off the carriage under the burning gazes of the villagers. She hugged Dowdu and couldn't be bothered with what others thought. Mu Lianfeng and Helianchen also got off the carriage. Helianchen had never been to the countryside before and didn't know what the situation was like in the countryside. After seeing the living conditions of Zhao Yun's house, he felt a little sad for Zhao Yun. This woman was really pitiful. How could someone live in such a place? Mu Lianfeng moved the things he bought today and sent them to Zhao Yun's house. Chapter 73. When Zhao Yun saw Mu Lianfeng buying these things, she had already guessed that he did not buy these things for her. However, she did not expect that Mu Lianfeng would really give these things to her. After receiving so many favors, Zhao Yun really did not want to owe him too much. Lord Heir, I appreciate your kindness, but these things are too expensive. I can't accept them. These are for the child. The child needs to nourish his body. Besides, I've already bought these things. If I take them back, no one in my family will eat them. Mu Lianfeng said, trying to persuade Zhao Yun. He wanted to help more, but he knew that Zhao Yun would definitely not accept if he gave her money directly. Therefore, he thought about it and went to buy these things. They were not expensive, but they could at least nourish the body. Helianchen also persuaded, young lady, just accept them. You think they are expensive, but they are really nothing to Feng. I reckon that they will be put aside when they are brought back to the residence. No one will eat them. Won't it be a pity if they spoil? The two of them echoed each other, making Zhao Yun not know how to refuse. Dowda stared at these things, his eyes fixed, as if he really wanted to eat them. Zhao Yun did not care about it herself, but she really should give them to Dowda to nourish his body. After thinking about it, Zhao Yun said, Lord Heir, it's okay if I accept these things. However, it can't be considered as a gift from you. It can only be considered as a loan from you. Help me calculate how much these things cost together with the medical expenses. When I earn the money later, I will return the money to you. Mu Lianfeng did not refute Zhao Yun. His original intention of helping was to temporarily solve Zhao Yun's predicament. As long as she agreed to accept them now, everything was fine. We will do as you say. Mu Lianfeng said. Zhao Yun's heart felt a little better. Helianchen couldn't help but take another look at Zhao Yun. Although this woman's family was a little poor, she still had her own stubbornness and pride in her bones. She wasn't the kind of person who was greedy for money. Why don't the two young masters stay for lunch? Zhao Yun asked. It was already lunchtime. In order to send her back, Mu Lianfeng and Helianchen did not have lunch. He had helped her so much that she didn't know how to repay him. She could only use this method. She originally thought that people with status like Mu Lianfeng and Helianchen wouldn't stay for a simple meal in her shabby home. She was just being polite, but Mu Lianfeng actually agreed without hesitation. He agreed so quickly that Zhao Yun couldn't help but be startled. Fine. Since Gu Ning was going to stay for dinner, Gu Ning decided to take good care of her. Lord Shitzi, young Master Helian, please wait for a moment. I will go and cook now. Okay. Zhao Yun put Dowdu on the bed and said to Dowdu, Dowdu, lie down and rest for a while. Mother will go and cook something good for you now, okay? Okay. Dowdu smiled sweetly at Zhao Yun. Dowdu is so obedient. Zhao Yun kissed Dowdu's forehead. This scene happened to fall into Mu Lianfeng's eyes. Looking at Dowdu and Zhao Yun, a part of his heart suddenly became extremely soft. Zhao Yun went to the kitchen to prepare today's lunch. Chapter 74. Other than the vegetables that Mulan gave her, there was really nothing good in the house. Fortunately, there was some pork in the things that Mu Lianfeng brought over. If she made a few dishes, she could make do with the lunch. When Zhao Yun was preparing lunch for Mu Lianfeng, she was also preparing lunch for Daodu. Daodu was sick and didn't eat anything yesterday. She definitely couldn't give him anything that was too oily for the time being. Zhao Yun took some meat essence from the meat that Mu Lianfeng sent over. Then, she mixed a few pigeon eggs and some diced mushrooms into it. She grabbed a handful of rice and started to boil it. The wood fire was burning very brightly, so after a while, waves of fragrance wafted out. It made Zhao Yun a little hungry. Although she was busy alone, Zhao Yun was nimble and quickly washed and cut the vegetables. Before the lean meat porridge was ready, she had already made a dish of red braised pork. The fragrance of the meat filled the entire house. After Enchanting smelled the fragrance, he couldn't help but swallow his saliva into his stomach. He didn't know what Zhao Yun was burning to make it so fragrant. Originally, he only wanted to stay for a simple meal. After all, with the situation at Zhao Yun's house, he didn't expect to be able to eat anything good in Zhao Yun's house. Now, it seemed that it was out of his expectations. Enchanting felt that he was still a little reserved. Otherwise, he would definitely rush into the kitchen to see what delicious food Zhao Yun was cooking. The two men stood at the door. They were both dressed luxuriously and had dignified appearances. In addition, the horse carriage that was parked in front of Zhao Yun's house came over curiously and stared at Mu Lianfeng and Enchanting. Although they couldn't guess the identity of the two of them, they knew that their identities were definitely not simple. Where did Zhao Yun get to know such a character? The villagers guessed, and there were many versions. Some even said that Zhao Yun was liked by a rich family and wanted to marry Zhao Yun as a concubine or mistress. However, no one knew what the truth was. It wasn't good to rush over and ask Zhao Yun about the specific situation. The village was only so big, so the news quickly spread throughout the village. Li Chuiying happened to pass by Zhao Yun's house when he came out for a stroll. After seeing this situation, he couldn't help sighing in his heart. Was this girl going to strike it rich? If she was fancied by such a rich man, wouldn't she be able to live a good life? Listening to the discussions of the people in the village, Li Chuiying felt that it was more likely that Zhao Yun was going to be married to a rich person as a concubine or a mistress. In any case, this was big news for the Zhao family. If it was true, then old Zhao's family could ask for a large sum of money as a wedding gift. Li Chuiying's face was filled with joy. He ran in the direction of old Zhao's house and brought the good news back. "Father, mother," Li Chuiying called out loudly the moment she left. Zhao Baoshan came back with the men and the family at noon. It was spring now, the busy time. Old Zhao's family had more than 10 mu of farmland. They were very busy in spring. Basically, all the men in the family had to work. Chapter 75. Country people relied on these fields. The more fields they had, the better their family's life would be. Old Zhao's family was a wealthy family in the village. Although they couldn't compare with those landlords, they were much better off than those tenant farmers. At the beginning of spring, they were busy planting rapeseed. Once the rapeseed was planted, they could refine rapeseed oil. The oil that the family ate had to be extracted from the rapeseed. If they planted more, they could bring them to town and sell them for money. After they finished planting the rapeseed, the family had to plow the fields, sow the rice, and cultivate the seedlings. Although old Zhao's family had a large population, there weren't many men working in the fields. The second, third, fourth, and 3 grandsons were too young to work in the fields. After a busy morning, they were very tired. They came back to have lunch and rest for a while in the afternoon before going to the fields. The family was already busy. When Zhao Baoshan saw Li Chuiying running out to play at this time, he was a little unhappy. She was the laziest of all the daughters-in-law in the family. She was greedy and didn't like to work. Thus, Zhao Baoshan reprimanded her. "Why are you making a fuss the moment you come back? Don't you know how to help your mother with her work?" Li Chuiying chuckled resentfully. "Father, aren't there people working in the kitchen? Why are there so many people in there? You have a sharp tongue." Zhao Baoshan snorted coldly, still a little unhappy. Li Chuiying smiled and said, "Father, I have something to tell you. Something big." Zhao Baoshan looked up and said in a deep voice, "What big thing do you have to say?" "Father, it's about that girl, Yun-er." Li Chuiying immediately became excited. Hu Chunhua happened to hear the noise. She walked out of the kitchen and asked Li Chuiying, "What's wrong with that girl, Yun-er?" "Father, mother, you don't know." Li Chuiying told him everything he had seen, including his own guesses. After hearing what Li Chuiying said, Hu Chunhua's eyes lit up. Hearing Li Chuiying's words, it was a good thing. Since they were rich, they would probably get a lot of money as gifts. If the other party were to throw away a lot of money and give them a lot of money, wouldn't the entire old Zhao family be able to live a good life? "Father, mother, why don't you go and ask now? It just so happens that those two nobles are still here. If he leaves, it'll be hard to negotiate," Li Chuiying urged. In fact, old Zhao's family hadn't split up yet. Now that they had received benefits, everyone would enjoy it together. With money, old Zhao's family's living conditions would naturally improve. Hu Chunhua was also in high spirits. Just as she was about to go, she was scolded by Zhao Baoshan. "Where do you want to go? Are you really going to discuss the gift money?" Hu Chunhua smiled embarrassedly and said, "Of course not, old man. I'm just going to ask clearly." "It's not appropriate to go now," Zhao Baoshan said coldly. Hu Chunhua was a little puzzled. "Old man, why?" Chapter 76. Hu Chunhua felt that Zhao Baoshan's words were reasonable. At the same time, she did not dare to refute Zhao Baoshan's words, so she replied, "Okay, I'll let third brother and his wife talk about this later." "Okay." Zhao Baoshan responded faintly, but there was another thought in his mind. There seemed to be something in his cloudy eyes. Zhao Baoshan sighed. Li Chuiying went into the kitchen with a smile. When she came to Liang Jinqiao, she quickly praised Liang Jinqiao's good fortune to have a beautiful daughter who was now favored by a rich family. Liang Jinqiao and Liang Jinqiao were stunned and did not know what Li Chuiying was talking about. Zhao Ping, who was tending the fire under the stove, immediately understood what Li Chuiying was talking about. It must be the heir apparent. Her heart could not help palpitating. When Zhao Ping thought of Mu Lianfeng's handsome face, she could not help but feel a little excited. "Mother, I won't be eating at home at noon. I'm going to eat at Yun-er's place." Zhao Ping stood up in front of the stove and said to Liang Jinqiao. In fact, one reason was to eat at Zhao Yun-er's place. The other reason was that she wanted to see Mu Lianfeng. Even if it was just a glance, she would be satisfied. "Ping, it's not like there's no food at home. We can eat soon. Why are you going to Yunver's place?" Liang Jinqiao said in a somewhat serious tone. "Mother, Tianan and Tianfu have already eaten there. Why can't I go there?" "I haven't eaten there." Zhao Ping replied a little capriciously. Then she got up and ran out of the kitchen. Liang Jinqiao could only sigh. This child was already so old, why was she still so insensible? Helianchen kept sniffing and said to Mu Lianfeng, "Feng, isn't the smell of this girl's cooking a little too fragrant? It's even better than the dishes cooked by my family's chef." You have to know that my family's chef's skills aren't just for show. The head chef in the backyard earns 1,000 taels of silver a year. Mu Lianfeng's serious face twitched slightly. At first, it was fine, but as the smell grew stronger, he began to be unable to withstand it. The worms in his stomach seemed to be stirring non-stop. I really want to eat. Ah, Feng, I really didn't expect that following you today would be such a blessing in disguise. We didn't go to Fulai restaurant yesterday, so we can make up for it today. It's a pity that I didn't bring any wine, otherwise we could have a good drink. The corner of Mu Lianfeng's mouth twitched slightly. So this guy was really here to enjoy his fortune. Mu Rongfeng stretched his body slightly and looked into the house. He wasn't curious about what Xiao Yun was cooking, but he liked to see her busy back in the kitchen. It made him feel the warmth of home. Actually, he felt that this kind of life was pretty good. The countryside seemed to be much more comfortable. Xiao Yun opened the lid of the pot. The lean meat porridge was already cooked, and a strong fragrance wafted out. Xiao Yun scooped a bowl and brought it over to Daodu. Daodu, come, it's done. Mother put it on the table. It's a little hot, so eat it yourself. Mother still has to cook other dishes. Xiao Yun said gently to Daodu. Daodu nodded sensibly. Eating by himself was a piece of cake for him. Mu Lianfeng was worried that Daodu, a 3-year-old child, would be scalded, so he said to Xiao Yun, I happen to be free, why don't I feed him? Chapter 77. Mu Lianfeng was the heir apparent. Wasn't it a little inappropriate for someone of his status to serve him? Mu Lianfeng didn't say much. He took the lean meat porridge from Xiao Yun's hands and brought it to Daodu. Mu Lianfeng sat by the bed and said gently to Daodu, Daodu, you're Daodu, right? Daodu was still a little shy when he looked at Mu Lianfeng. However, he had stayed here for 2 days and knew that Mu Lianfeng was a good person, so he nodded obediently. Yes, uncle. I'm Daodu. Your mother is busy now. Uncle will feed you now, okay? Okay, Daodu replied softly. For some reason, Daodu couldn't help but have a good impression of Mu Lianfeng when he looked at Mu Lianfeng. He wanted to get closer to Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled up and there was a touch of warmth between his brows. Daodu is so obedient. After Mu Lianfeng praised him, he picked up the spoon and started to feed Daodu porridge. Before feeding Daodu, Mu Lianfeng carefully blew on the spoon. After confirming that it wasn't hot, he sent it to Daodu's mouth. Looking at Mu Lianfeng's attentive and tender appearance, Helian Chen's jaw almost dropped to the ground. What the hell? Was this person in front of him Mu Lianfeng? Could this guy have this side to him? However, in this scene, Mu Lianfeng was full of fatherly love. He and Daodu were like father and son. Helian Chen was shocked by this thought in his heart. What kind of joke was this? How did Mu Lianfeng suddenly have a son? But looking at Daodu's appearance and Mu Lianfeng's handsome face, these two people's appearances were becoming more and more similar. Especially Daodu's eyebrows, they were practically the same as Mu Lianfeng's. Xiao Yun was also watching. For a moment, she didn't know how to move. She was also attracted by the warm scene in front of her. The fatherly love emanating from Mu Lianfeng made Xiao Yun wish that this moment could last forever. At the end of the day, a child's growth could not be without the company of his parents. No matter how good she was to Daodu, Daodu still lacked fatherly love, and she couldn't replace that. Miss Yun, what are you cooking? It's so fragrant, it's making my stomach growl. After his stomach growled a few times, Helian Chen pointed at it and said shyly to Xiao Yun. Xiao Yun retracted her gaze from Murong Feng and Daodu and smiled at Helian Chen. It's nothing, just a few home-cooked dishes. It might take a while. Why don't I help you scoop a bowl first and eat a little to fill your stomach? Helianchen nodded in agreement without hesitation. If he continued to hold it in, he would probably die of hunger. Zhao Yuner looked at Helianchen. He really did look like a child. She turned and entered the kitchen. She brought out a bowl of lean meat porridge and handed it to Helianchen. Eat, I have to continue cooking. Helianchen held the bowl of lean meat porridge and leaned in to take a sniff. A faint fragrance floated into his nose. He couldn't wait to taste it. It was clearly lean meat porridge, but the lean meat porridge made by Zhao Yuner tasted surprisingly delicious. It was much better than their family's cooking. Chapter 78. As Helianchen spoke, he couldn't help but stuff some lean meat porridge into his mouth again. It's delicious, uncle. Mother's porridge is delicious. Dowdy smiled at Mu Lianfeng with a satisfied expression. Then he pointed at his bowl. Uncle, you eat too. It's very delicious. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled up slightly. You eat. Uncle won't eat. Helianchen started nagging at the side. Ah, Feng, you should try it too. You'll really regret it if you don't eat it. Mu Lianfeng couldn't imagine what this lean meat porridge tasted like, but what hadn't Helianchen eaten before? As long as the Helian family wanted to, they could bring all the delicacies from all over the world to their dining table. Naturally, Mu Lianfeng didn't know. There were no seasonings in this era, and the fresh taste of these mushrooms made people feel that it was a rare delicacy in the world. Soon, Helianchen finished a bowl of lean meat porridge. When he wanted to eat more, he held back. He was afraid that if he ate too much, he wouldn't have the stomach to eat the delicacies Zhao Yun made later. Even the food to fill his stomach was so delicious, not to mention the food that Zhao Yun meticulously prepared later. Therefore, he should eat slowly so that he wouldn't regret it later. After Mu Lianfeng finished feeding Daodu, Zhao Yun's dishes were almost done after a while. Zhao Yun brought the dishes into the house and called for Mu Lianfeng and Helianchen to eat. Several dishes were placed on the table. Red braised pork, sweet and sour pork ribs, hot and sour cabbage, lean meatballs, and a bowl of fresh mushrooms. Although these mushrooms had been at home for 2 days, they were still fresh. The temperature wasn't high now, so the food could be kept fresh for a longer time. When Zhao Yuner was cooking, she left some broth from the braised pork and added some rapeseed oil. Then, she poured in the mushrooms and stewed them. When the mushrooms were about to be cooked, she added some salt and a pot of fragrant mushrooms was ready. There were a lot of mushrooms at home. When Zhao Yuner cooked them, there was almost half a pot. If they couldn't finish them at noon, they could eat them at night or even tomorrow. Helianchen recognized all the other dishes on the table, but he didn't recognize the mushroom dish. He pointed at the mushroom on the table and asked Zhao Yuner, Miss Yuner, what dish are you making? Why haven't I seen it before? Zhao Yuner smiled and said, this is the dish that you don't want to eat. I took it to the city to sell, but it didn't sell. Is that so? But it looks pretty good. Let me try it. If it's not bad, Miss Yun, you have to sell me a little. I'll bring it back and let my family's chef cook it for me. Zhao Yuner chuckled and said, if young master likes to eat it, you can just take some from my house and bring it back. I won't charge you. Hee hee, how can I accept that? Hurry up and eat. Zhao Yuner was also a little hungry. 2 grown men squeezed in her house. This kind of dilapidated and low house was really a little out of place with these 2 young masters. How could her small temple accommodate these 2 big Buddhas? Zhao Yuner still felt that it was a little unfair for these 2 people to eat in her house. Because she couldn't even make a decent stool for them. Chapter 79. The two men didn't care about their image and began to eat the dishes cooked by Zhao Yun. Although they weren't expensive dishes, they felt that the dishes cooked by Zhao Yun were surprisingly delicious, especially the braised pork and mushrooms. They were so delicious that they wanted to swallow their own tongues. Zhao Yun didn't eat right away. Looking at the coachman who was waiting outside the house, Zhao Yun said to him, "Sir, it's noon. You must be hungry. Come in and have a bite of food." The coachman didn't expect that Zhao Yun would invite him. He waved his hand at once. "No, no, no. Miss, you can eat. I'm fine." The coachman was a little touched by Zhao Yun's invitation to eat in the house. He was only a servant, so he naturally couldn't eat with his master. It was against the rules. If the old lady knew, she would probably be scolded to death. "Sir, how can you skip lunch?" "It's fine. My family cooked a lot of food for lunch. It's enough." "Miss, it's really not necessary. My master is eating inside. I'm just a servant. It's inappropriate for me to join him." Zhao Yun figured out what was going on. The ancient times were different from the modern times. There were many rules, so the coachman had his own concerns. Zhao Yun didn't force him. She went into the house and came out with a bowl of rice with many dishes. "Sir, is this okay? Hurry up and eat. Just put the bowl down. I'll come to clean it later." The coachman was struck dumb. Just when he was in a daze, Zhao Yun had already put the bowl into the coachman's hand. After smiling, she turned around and went back into the house. Looking at the steaming hot and fragrant food in his hand, the coachman felt warm in his heart. It felt so good to be cared for. He was just a servant. For so many years, only his parents cared about him. He didn't expect that this time, originally, the coachman still had some complaints about Zhao Yun. He felt that she had wasted too much of his Shizi's time. But now, all his feelings had dissipated. He was only touched. Zhao Yun entered the house and began to eat. Before he could take a bite, Zhao Ping's voice came from outside. While Zhao Yun was frowning, Zhao Ping had already entered the room. "Zhao Yun, what delicious food did your family make? I want to eat it too," Zhao Ping said. There was no room for discussion in his tone, as if he was ordering Zhao Yun. Originally, Zhao Yun was in a good mood because she could have a good lunch. Now that Zhao Ping came, she lost her interest in eating. Putting down the bowl and chopsticks in her hand, Zhao Yun replied indifferently, "Why are you here?" "Of course I'm here to eat. What delicious food do you have here? You have to give it to me. Didn't Tianfu and Tianan come to eat before?" Zhao Yun rolled her eyes. This woman really said it as if it was natural. What did it have to do with her that she had delicious food here? She took the initiative to ask Zhao Tianan and Zhao Tianfu to stay and eat, but Zhao Ping shamelessly came to ask for food. "Haha, I can decide who to give my food to. I don't want to give it to you now, so you should leave quickly. Otherwise, don't blame me for kicking you out," Zhao Yun said coldly. Chapter 80. Zhao Ping glared at Zhao Yun angrily and said. When Zhao Ping finished speaking, Mu Lianfeng, who was eating with his head lowered, paused. Pregnant before marriage. He seemed to have caught some information. Zhao Yun's eyes suddenly shot out a cold light. Zhao Ping, this woman was really despicable. Of all things to say, she used this matter to attack her. "Say it again if you dare." Zhao Ping caught a glimpse of Zhao Yun's gaze. It was as if she wanted to eat someone, and she was a little scared. She muttered, "You want me to say it again, so I'll say it again. Isn't that very embarrassing?" Zhao Yun sneered. Zhao Ping was tactful. If this woman really said another word, she would definitely tear her mouth apart. "That, Miss Yun there's still the last piece of red braised pork left. Do you want to eat it? If you don't, I'll eat it." Helian Chen's voice rang out, making the original atmosphere strange. Helian Chen ate more than half of this big bowl of red braised pork alone, Murong Feng ate some, and Zhao Yun ate less than 3 pieces. Therefore, when there was only 1 piece left on the plate, Helian Chen was not so thick-skinned to eat it for himself. That was why he asked Zhao Yun like this. When he asked, his eyes were still staring straight at that piece of red braised pork, as if he wanted to swallow it into his stomach. Looking at Helian Chen's greedy look, he was like a child. It was okay that she did not eat much. She could cook again later. Therefore, she said to Helian Chen, "It's okay, I'm not eating." "You eat it." Helian Chen said excitedly, "Miss Yun this is what you said. Since that's the case, then I'll eat it." "Yes." When Helian Chen's chopsticks were about to greet the red braised pork in the bowl, Mu Lianfeng took the red braised pork from the bowl and stuffed it into his mouth. His movements were still extremely graceful. Helian Chen was instantly unhappy and shouted at Mu Lianfeng, "Feng, how can you be so shameless? How dare you steal my meat?" Mu Lianfeng replied faintly, "When did I steal from you? Didn't you eat the most of this plate of red braised pork? Aren't you embarrassed?" Mu Lianfeng's tone carried a hint of disdain and sarcasm. Helian Chen could only look at Mu Lianfeng angrily. He could not find any words to refute Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Ping only cared about quarreling with Zhao Yun and ignored Mu Lianfeng in the room. Now that she saw Mu Lianfeng, there was actually a handsome man beside him. Pink bubbles suddenly appeared in Zhao Ping's eyes. She looked at Mu Lianfeng and Helian Chen like a love-struck fool. Helian Chen felt Zhao Yun's burning gaze. He raised his head and looked at Zhao Ping. He was so shocked that the bowl and chopsticks in his hand almost fell to the ground. This woman. She was too ugly, and her appearance was a little scary. Fortunately, she was not staring at him but staring at Mu Lianfeng more. Although he liked to see women looking at him with adoration, it depended on the person. Zhao Ping definitely could not do it. Would it make him feel a little disgusted? Chapter 81. Helian Chen poked Mu Lianfeng. His tone was filled with schadenfreude. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Zhao Ping indifferently. Some of them could not eat anymore. It was not because of Zhao Ping's ugly appearance, but because he did not like Zhao Ping's attitude towards Zhao Yun. This woman was the one who bullied Zhao Yun. Now, she even showed such an infatuated look towards him, which made him feel a trace of disgust. Lord Zhao Ping saw that Mu Lianfeng finally looked at her and called out shyly. Then, she coquettishly tucked her loose hair behind her ears. Haha, Helian Chen couldn't help but laugh out loud at an inappropriate time. Thinking that Mu Lianfeng was liked by a woman like Zhao Ping, he felt secretly happy. Mu Lianfeng glared at Helian Chen. Zhao Ping saw that Mu Lianfeng was no longer looking at her and was a little anxious. She leaned towards Mu Lianfeng and pinched her throat to make a delicate voice. Lord why are you here? Is something the matter? Lord Seeing that Zhao Ping leaned over, Helian Chen hurriedly took a few steps back. At this moment, he looked at Mu Lianfeng sympathetically. Mu Lianfeng's brows were knitted together. It was obvious that he was very disgusted by Zhao Ping's behavior. Miss, have some self-respect. Mu Lianfeng spat out these 4 words coldly. Zhao Ping had never studied before and did not know what Mu Lianfeng meant by self-respect. Zhao Yun could not stand it anymore. Zhao Ping was her elder sister. Acting like this in front of Mu Lianfeng was embarrassing her. Are you done? Are you leaving or not? If you continue to stay in my house, I won't be polite to you. Zhao Yun began to drive him away. It wasn't easy for Zhao Ping to spend more time with Mu Lianfeng. How could she be willing to leave so soon? She looked at Zhao Yun unhappily and said, Zhao Yun, what do you mean? Isn't it just staying at your house for a while? Was there a need for this? Humph, aren't you just afraid that I'll snatch the crown prince away? You want to keep it to yourself, don't you? Zhao Yun looked at Zhao Ping and felt that her words were very funny. Where did Zhao Ping get her confidence from? Did she think that she could steal other men just because she looked like this? Most men wouldn't even look at her, let alone Mu Lianfeng. He wasn't blind yet. Helian Chen, who was listening by the side, laughed even louder. The ugly woman's words were too funny. Were all the people in the countryside like this? Why didn't she have any self-awareness? Mu Lianfeng was done for now. Zhao Ping did not finish speaking and continued, Zhao Yun, with someone like you, don't even think about being with someone like the crown prince. You have to look at your status. A woman who got pregnant before marriage with a child. Do you think the crown prince will take a fancy to you? Zhao Yun laughed coldly. She felt that Zhao Ping was really a little stupid. It was really hard to communicate with an idiot. Chapter 82. Zhao Yun's words were not so heartless. She did not like to say such hurtful words. However, this Zhao Ping did not care about her face at all, so there was no need for her to be polite with her. After Zhao Yun finished speaking, Zhao Ping was completely enraged. Because Zhao Yun's words poked at her sore spot. It was precisely because she was ugly that she did not like others saying that she was ugly. Zhao Yun you be *tch, I'm going to tear your face apart. She wanted to see if she would still dare to say that she was ugly after her face was ruined. Before Zhao Ping's claws landed on Zhao Yun's face, Mu Lianfeng's tall and straight body blocked in front of Zhao Yun. If you continue to cause trouble, don't blame me for throwing you out. Mu Lianfeng's voice was cold without any warmth. Zhao Ping's originally soaring arrogance immediately fell silent when she faced Mu Lianfeng's dark face. Heir apparent. Zhao Ping bit her lower lip. In her heart, her resentment towards Zhao Yun increased. If it were not for this *tch, would she be like this? Now, she had embarrassed herself in front of Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng's impression of her must be very bad. This is Miss Yun's house. Miss, you're too unreasonable. Even if you're her elder sister, you can't be like this. Miss Yun's life is not easy. Instead, you came over to take advantage of it. This is not what a family member should do. I hope you can go back quickly. Mu Lianfeng said in disgust. He did not want to meddle in other people's business, but looking at Zhao Yun's situation, he could not help but feel sorry for Zhao Yun. Zhao Ping stomped her feet angrily. She was very unwilling to accept this. However, she did not dare to disobey Mu Lianfeng's words. She was afraid that she would leave an even worse impression on Mu Lianfeng. When that time came, it would be even more impossible for her and Mu Lianfeng to be together. Fine, I'll leave. Zhao Ping turned around angrily. She would wait for Mu Lianfeng to leave before she came over to settle the score with Zhao Yun slowly. Waiting for Zhao Ping to leave, Zhao Yun's mouth had a bitter smile, let the two young masters see a joke. Miss Yun, will laugh at you, but, is that woman really your elder sister? Biological sister? Helian-chan asked in disbelief. Xiao Yun nodded and replied, yes, my elder sister. Biological sister. Helian-chan smiled awkwardly. Miss Yun, I really couldn't tell, the two of you really don't look alike. Not only do you look, but your personalities are also very different. Xiao Yun, gave people a gentle but independent and strong feeling. However, Xiao Ping was simply a country shrew. Sometimes, it was okay for a woman to be a little ugly on the outside. At least, she needed some inner beauty, right? It was very obvious that Xiao Ping was the kind of woman who did not have both. Xiao Yun did not want to continue this topic. Thinking about these people made her feel uncomfortable for no reason. Thus, she called out to Helian-chan and Mu Lianfeng and said, let's continue eating. Okay. After lunch, Helian-chan and Mu Lianfeng prepared to return to the city together. Before leaving, Helian-chan brought several caddies of mushrooms. When he went back, he also wanted his chef to make this kind of delicious taste for him. Take care, young masters. Xiao Yun went out and watched the two of them leave. Mu Lianfeng looked at Xiao Yun with some reluctance before getting into the carriage. Chapter 83. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Helian-chan indifferently, as if he could not be bothered with him. Helian-chan smiled and said, Feng, I hope not. Although this Yun is good, the difference between your statuses is too big. Miss Yun even has a son. It's impossible for her to enter your house. You talk too much. Mu Lianfeng said angrily, as if he was angry that Helian-chan picked the matter so clearly. How could he not be aware of this? Helian-chan was still smiling. He cupped his face like a child and said to Mu Lianfeng, Feng, you still don't know, right? You didn't go back yesterday. Your cousin, cough cough, she came to my house and said that I hid you. Helian-chan did not know whether to laugh or cry when he thought of yesterday. Mu Lianfeng's cousin looked like she wanted to destroy the entire Helian residence. Unfortunately, after searching the Helian residence for half a day, she could not find Mu Lianfeng. Only then did she leave unwillingly. Mu Lianfeng stopped. A hint of relief flashed across his black eyes. I'll go to the inn tonight. He thought of his cousin. It was not easy for her to come here. If she did not see him, she would definitely not go back so easily. She was probably still in the Mu residence. If he went back now, he would simply be walking into a trap. He would wait a few days for the limelight to die down. After Mu Lianfeng and Helian-chan left, Xiao Yun cleaned up the bowls and chopsticks on the table. The few dishes she made in the afternoon were all eaten cleanly, not leaving anything behind. What Xiao Yun did not understand was that the two people's statuses were not ordinary. Why would they eat so ravenously when they came to her house? It was as if they had not eaten good food for a long time. Perhaps it was because they had never eaten such home-cooked food before. They felt that it was fresh for a moment, right? In the afternoon, Xiao Yun had nothing to do. She took care of Daodu while busying herself with other things. Xiao Yun brought back so many mushrooms. Even if she couldn't eat them all, she couldn't let them go to waste. So, she decided to dry these mushrooms and grind them into powder. The taste of these mushrooms was fresh and delicious. If the mushrooms were ground into powder and placed in soup or dishes, it could enhance the freshness of the dishes. Zhao Yuner took the time to sprinkle some of the vegetable seeds she bought today and watered them. She reckoned that it wouldn't be long before she could eat fresh vegetables. Although the vegetable garden wasn't big, if she planted some, it would be enough for her and Dowda to eat. Yuner. Zhao Yuner had just finished tending to the vegetable garden when she heard Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinchao talking about business. The two of them walked towards her house. "Father, Mother, why are you here?" When Liang Jinchao saw Zhao Yuner, he held Zhao Yuner's hand and said with concern, "Yuner, Gianfu came home yesterday and told me everything. Ping is your elder sister. I've already helped you scold her for what she did. I hope you don't blame her. How is Dao De now?" Facing Liang Jinchao, Zhao Yuner scolded Zhao Ping. This would only make things difficult for Liang Jinchao. "Mother, Dao De is fine now. He went to the medical center in the city yesterday to have his illness checked. After taking 2 more sets of medicine, he should be completely cured." Chapter 84. Zhao Yun responded vaguely. She knew that Zhao Tianhua and Liang Jinchao did not come over just to talk about this matter. Sure enough, Liang Jinchao asked a little resentfully, "Yun, Mother heard that a benefactor came to your house today. Mother wants to ask about your relationship with him." Zhao Yun knew that the benefactor that Liang Jinchao was talking about should be Mu Lianfeng. "Mother, I have nothing to do with him. It's just that the young master did me a favor." "Really? But Mother heard that." Zhao Yun frowned slightly and looked at Liang Jinchao in confusion. "Mother, what did you hear?" Liang Jinchao told Zhao Yun about what had happened today. Hu Chenhua had asked her husband and wife to inquire about the situation at Zhao Yun's place. Zhao Yun only felt speechless for a while. These people thought too much. However, it seemed like they couldn't wait for her to have something to do with Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yun smiled faintly and said, "Mother, can you believe what others say? Think about it. What is his status and what is mine? Not to mention a rich person, even an ordinary person would not fancy a woman with a child, right?" Liang Jinchao felt that it made some sense. She sighed and said, "All right, Yun Mother understands. After hearing what you said, Mother will be able to answer to your grandmother later." Zhao Yun responded. There was nothing else to talk about with Liang Jinchao, so the couple went back. When they returned to old Zhao's house, Liang Jinchao told Zhao Yun's words to Hu Chenhua. Hu Chenhua also understood. Thinking about it, who was this Zhao Yun? How could a rich person fancy her? However, because they had hoped that Zhao Yun could help them get rich, now that their hopes were dashed, Hu Chenhua was unusually unhappy in her heart. She scolded Liang Jinchao in her ear, "Since that girl doesn't have the fortune, don't bring a man home. The gossip outside is unpleasant. She doesn't know how to avoid arousing suspicion. Now that everyone in the village knows, how can our old Zhao's family live in the future? She already did something like getting pregnant out of wedlock. If the reputation of being a vixen spreads now..." "That's right, Grandma. You're right. Zhao Yun has to know her identity. Anyway, she definitely won't be liked by Shizi. When the time comes, gossip in the village will spread, and people will think that the girls in our old Zhao's family are all indecent like Zhao Yun. Zhao Ping also followed behind and echoed. Because of today's matter, Zhao Ping was unhappy. She was the first to join in where there was an opportunity to make sarcastic remarks about Zhao Yun. After Zhao Ping finished speaking, Hu Chenhua caught a trace of information. "Little girl Ping, you're talking about Lord Murong. What Shizi?" "Grandma, go to Zhao Yun's house to see the noble person. He is Shizi." "How do you know?" Zhao Yun said. "I heard her call him Shizi." "Oh." Hu Chenhua was a little stunned. She thought that it was just an ordinary rich person. She didn't expect that it was Shizi. If this relationship was established, it would be terrible. Now she understood even more why Zhao Yun had nothing to do with Shitzi. How could he like Zhao Yun, who was of such a high status? Chapter 85. Tisk, Hu Chunhua sighed and thought of something. She poked Zhao Xinhui, who was eating with her head lowered, and said to Zhao Xinhui, you're pretty. If the heir apparent goes to Yun-er's place again, you can go over and get close to him. Who knows, he might take a fancy to you. Zhao Xinhui was Hu Chunhua's youngest daughter. She had this daughter at an old age, so she doted on her a lot. She was even more doted on than old Zhao's sons. Old Zhao's children were all good-looking. Zhao Xinhui was delicate and pretty. Her facial features were even more exquisite than Zhao Yun-er's. She was the same age as Zhao Yun-er. With Zhao Xinhui's qualifications, she could have found a good family. However, after Zhao Xinhui reached marriageable age, she was picky and insisted on finding someone who she thought was worthy of her. Other people were not willing to marry into ordinary families. Hu Chunhua doted on this daughter of hers and gave in to Zhao Xinhui. It wasn't easy for Zhao Xinhui to find a suitable man when she was 16 years old. Zhao Xinhui was filled with joy as she prepared to marry him. Who knew that just as the marriage was set, the man would die? Zhao Xinhui's marriage was delayed again. Until now, she still had not found a suitable husband. In ancient times, Zhao Xinhui was already considered a young lady at her age. Hu Chunhua had been worried about Zhao Xinhui's marriage all these years. Zhao Xinhui put down the bowl and chopsticks in her hands and said to Hu Chunhua, "Mother, look at what I'm wearing. I don't have nice clothes or nice jewelry. Will the heir apparent like me?" Hu Chunhua fell silent. After thinking about it, she felt that Zhao Xinhui's words made some sense. It was not enough for a woman to have a beautiful face. She had to dress up well. It was the same principle that people relied on clothes. You're right. When we go to the city later, we'll pick a nice piece of cloth to make clothes with. I'll buy some jewelry for you. Old Zhao's family had accumulated some wealth over the years. Hu Chunhua was usually a little stingy with other people, but she was very generous with her precious daughter. When Hu Chunhua said this, Zhao Xinhui immediately became happy. She smiled and said, "Mother, don't worry. If I dress up well, the heir apparent will definitely like me." Zhao Xinhui was very confident about her appearance. Hu Chunhua's differential treatment made the other branches of old Zhao's family very unhappy. Zhao Ping could only blame herself for saying this in front of Hu Chunhua. What if Mu Lianfeng was taken away by Zhao Xinhui? "Grandmother, since you're making clothes for my aunt, can you make me one too? Let me dress up. Look at my tattered clothes." Hu Chunhua glanced at Zhao Ping indifferently. "You want all of them? Where do we get so much money? Your aunt's dress-up is an investment. If she marries into the heir apparent's mansion, it will bring wealth and benefits to our old Zhao's family. What do you want it for?" Being reprimanded by Hu Chunhua, Zhao Ping was a little unhappy. However, Zhao Xinhui added another stab to her wounded heart. "She looks like this. It's useless to dress up well. People should know their limits." "You." Zhao Ping ground her teeth. Wasn't this a little too much? You're tuning in to the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.